T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man,
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Tell us.
exclusive. Oh,
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with
you are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. Welcome to your Sunday's Holy Lizard session. I got two homies in the building. They're local, sort of, right? How far would you guys drive from here?
Only like an hour and 10 minutes. It wasn't that bad.
Bubba Lexi, guys. Got
Sunday fun day.
Bubba's Living Emporium.
I know, it's like a whole like thing because like living Emporium, it's supposed to be like I love animals and just working with them. I didn't want to just like be geckos, even though that's like what I mainly do. I just like keeping animals like you, dude. Like this is amazing. And
so geckos, you could say, usually started it all, right? And whatnot.
Oh
right?
yeah, like my mom got me my first leopard gecko when I was 6 years old back in like 2002, and like that's what started it. Is like because we were always moving every like 2 to 3 years, so I would always have like a small refined collection. And dude, that's super easy to do when you're growing up. You're a kid, you know. Leopard geckos are super easy to keep and super easy to breed.
Well, I gotta say, man, it's always a pleasure when I get to do the guest in person because, you know, I feel like it's easier to just vibe out versus just through the computer.
Yeah.
So thank you for pulling up. I appreciate it.
Dude,
you know?
yeah, 100%.
Whose idea was it to bring me flowers, though? I want to know.
It was mine.
Oh
Bro,
my
I was
god!
surprised. Yeah, I was surprised. I was
He was
like,
like, you brought
killing
me flowers? I was like, it's not for you.
No, they actually sweet enough to bring my wife flowers, which I mean that wins Lily. Lily's already easy to win over, but that right there just seals the deal. But guys, before we get started, okay, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here. You guys know how we start things off here. For the freshest and bestest rodents delivered to your doorstep, coldbloodedcafe.com. $30 flat rate shipping. Day one pinks to the mammoth rats straight to your doorstep. You guys do, I mean, do you guys have anything that you guys feed rodents to right now?
yeah, her hogs actually, and she has to do them in bulk now, especially because this is her first year breeding, and she has some snakes.
And you've already hatched them out, or
I've
you
already
just had?
hatched them out.
Oh my
I've
god!
gotten 4 so far, and then
She's
I'm
already told
expecting
me.
some more eggs soon. So
Yeah. She's
We'll
already
have a
told
lot
me,
more,
walked around the house,
so.
and she's like, well, I'm the only one that's bred snakes so far, and like throwing around her experience, and I'm like, all right,
She's earning stripes before you at this
100%, yeah. And like for most part, like I think snakes have more like a reputable kind of like that market, right? Where like
I mean, definitely right now too.
yeah, and so like that has more respect, I would say, than even breeding leopard geckos for however long.
100%. Well, congratulations. We'll get more into that right now
Oh,
in
yeah.
just a second. Shout out to Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats, PVC built enclosures, Flex in Texas all day, every day. Sorry for going out of order. I forgot to say shout out to Sim Container, John and Alex doing major heavy things with the monitor game. If you guys followed my stories earlier today, you guys would have saw that I fucking was able to finally pick up Mac Dre, like where he didn't spaz out. Like it was really awesome. I don't push the envelopes at all with these monitors. I tend to just let them do their thing. And, you know, I feel like it's when you don't put pressure onto them and force them to want to become docile, you kind of get to understand their personalities and see the differences, you know?
Well, when you put your hand under the hammock and kind of lifted him up a little bit, that's like still building trust too.
Yep.
And you can kind of like, you set him back down. You didn't even pull him out too. So like,
I'm glad
like
you
that.
noticed that.
Yeah, that's cool. I pay attention, and like Bell's Phase, dude, are like really awesome animals, and like you can watch them, their eyes dilate and everything. It's really cool.
Very similar to a dog. Like I mean, like as far as the way they sleep, the way they act, they're just very puppy-like. You know?
100%. Like I mean, I can't cuddle up with them like that.
You definitely can't, even though you want to so bad, but that's not ideal. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Snuggle with them.
Yeah. Shout out to Jesse, the entire Freedom Breeder crew, making the #1 stainless steel racks based out of the United States, but also they're global, man. You see Freedom Breeder racks all over the world, and that's because they're the best. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to the entire Freedom Breeder crew doing major things. Go check them out on Instagram and go to their website. And shout out to the big dog, Miguel Garcia, always evolving pythons. Who knows how he probably had that wedding up yesterday, but my homie was at a wedding, one of his good friends, Chevy's wedding, and dude, guys, it's amazing to be around. Go give him a follow on Instagram. Go check out his ball python projects. Actually, my boy Bubba sent him something. You sent my boy Miguel something recently, right?
Yeah, I think it was actually to one of his cousin's friends down in Mexico. And
wow.
Yeah, we had the opportunity. And honestly, I didn't have any geckos left from 2021 to be able to send Miguel leopard geckos of his caliber. So honestly, I just sent him some shirts and like a little cool booklet that we made.
Oh, that's tight. So let me ask you this. Miguel's creating like this huge buzz and this huge market down in Mexico, right?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, what is your feelings as far as like getting a different country like Mexico more in tap to what we're doing?
I think it's really hard, first of all, because like that whole getting them over there part is really difficult. And especially when we have like animals like kind of native species that are being brought over kind of illegally, kind of puts like a weird twist on things. So we're trying to figure that out. But the game that he has going down there is impeccable. Like I had so many people reach out where I had to go on to like Google Translate and figure out what everybody was trying to say. They were like, Miguel sent me. I was like, this is awesome, dude. Am I part of like a cult now? I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, he doesn't really shout me out on his. I'm not complaining, just so you know. I mean, I'm cool, but like Miguel's the kind of guy to where just like one little tag on his stories bringing like a bunch of legit ass followers.
Yeah, and it was really cool because like that box took about like 6 to 8 months to actually build up to that customer, which was originally in New York, and he does a bunch of business, so he was flying around and then ended up in Mexico. He has an awesome facility. Shout out Magna Dragons. And like, that's crazy to me. Like
right.
That people over there want that, you know, or like that I'm doing that because literally I do this because like I enjoy it and it's fun. And like leopard geckos, it's crazy.
And it's also crazy to think that like, you know, animals where these kind of ascended from, like you have people from those areas wanting to come get stuff from America that we're working with, you know? It's kind of an honor, you know what I mean? Because we're doing it right, you know, in a sense. I'm not going to say all of us are doing it right, that's for sure. But, you know, for the most part, like, you know, we're going to tap in after we shout the sponsors, we're going to tap in exactly how you lay out like Bubba's Living Emporium as far as like the branding on your Instagram, because I find that really fascinating the way you do it. But yeah, shout out to Miguel Garcia. I think it's awesome that you're here's the thing with Miguel, he's never too good for anybody, bro. And that's what I've noticed. That's why like he's always gonna be that guy that everyone fucks with because he fucks with everybody else. He never makes you feel like, oh, like either you can't come kick it with me or like you can't either hit me up. Miguel fucks with everybody, dude. So, and his content has a way of kind of like finding you too. Like even those times where I didn't have reptiles in my life, I would go on YouTube and then here's Miguel giving these like snakes to like these Phase clan members and stuff like that. And that was nuts. It's crazy, dude. Yeah. Even though some of those are there's some of those are hitting the fan right now. I hit him up. I was like, hey, what's up with your Jarvis guy? Is he a scammer? Like he's like, oh yeah, I don't know about that. I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm like, I guess like I don't know. I mean, as much as it I don't know. I mean, to have that much money at a young age, I mean, I would, for me, if it was me, I would be a fucking mess. I would probably be into some, I don't know. You make a lot of stupid mistakes when you're young as it is. Imagine being a millionaire and being young, you know, like. Yeah, well, I mean, you have like
limitless potential to
and,
do anything that
and
you
they're
want.
pretty much
Yeah.
that FaZe Clan. They're in their own world, running their own lives. You know what I mean?
And like I've never been like into gambling too, so like the cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, I was like,
I mean, shout out to my people who are really heavily into it, but also be careful too, because there's ways of getting duped in it, obviously, right now. But I will say that cryptocurrency is the future, man. Our dollar, the US dollar will be replaced at some point. I mean, I don't know when, but
well, they're dirty too. Like, have you ever seen like a dollar? Like,
yes, I mean, it just depreciates. The value just depreciates as years go on, and I don't know if you guys know the big thing behind cryptocurrency and why it's going to become something so important for the future, or why it's already important now. It's because when hospitals are doing transactions and stuff like that, they pay so much as far as like fees and stuff by using cash and or by using credit cards and stuff like that. So when they're paying with this crypto, I guess hospitals are now paying with cryptocurrency, which
to avoid all those
fees. Exactly. Yeah. Which is like, I mean, if you think about all the hospitals that are saving money like that, it's tremendous. So
hopefully they can bring down some of the insurance costs.
Well, dude, there's already like, I've already saw some breeders out there they take Bitcoin as payment.
Oh yeah, and that's cool too,
bro. I mean, I feel like I should be doing that. Like that's such my boy Sock is gonna be
send me like 37 Shiba Inus for this clown pie that you got. Yep.
See, the thing is, like, all I know, like, I got my homie who's really like, my homie Sock who's really like into it, and he's like, yo, get about this amount. He's gonna tell me what to put in. And he's like, and just consider it. Just that's gone. Like, don't think about it no more.
I love how you call him Socrates too, and like that's his name. But like also like the wisdom.
Wisdom. Yeah, it's funny how that works, huh? Shout out to my boy Sock. Love you, dog. Anyways, let's get through these what am I thinking? Sponsorships here. Dude, Amazing Basins. My boy Alan, tell you right now, one of my hugest passions, what I want to pursue in this reptile game is definitely getting a basins. As much as this room is sick to be in, I don't have any basins in it, but I know I'm in a good place because my boy Sock, but then and his best friend right here, Alan, works and breeds with these amazing basins. Have you guys ever messed with basins before? You ever seen them in person?
No.
I've seen his page, and like his page is phenomenal. And dude, when I was working on your snake, the Manokay Wari, is that how you say it?
The Manokori.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not gonna try that. But the head scales, dude, and like the pits are so beautiful to me, and like some of their eyes. And I had the pleasure of meeting Luke Skywalker, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, from Alex, one of his friends, and like those eyes are insane, and like the basins are a completely different level.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love chondros, when you are looking at a basin, like it's its own level, and it's nuts because it's you can't explain it. You just gotta fucking see these things for yourself. And all I know is like these are something not easy to work with as far as when it comes to breeding. And my man right here is one of the few doing it right, doing it consistently. He's looking at a really good year this year, knock on wood. But either way, just go check out my man Go check out my man Alan from Amazing Basins, especially if you're curious about the species Amazon Emerald Basin tree boa. Dude, go check him out right now. And then if you ever do want to get a part of a waiting list, best way to do that is to jump on his Patreon page. Just to give you a little heads up, okay? I don't know if he's capping it at some point, but I do know that that's the best place to kind of get your eyes on what is going to be available for the 2022 season. So shout out to my boy Alan. I appreciate you so much, doggy. And then, dude, Blake Stewart. I'm telling you right now, man, this guy is awesome. I love seeing him at shows, which is great. And for, again, Blake Stewart is from Stewart Design, which this guy is responsible for Justin Kabelka's name change to Canova. He helped the brand change for, Garrett Hartle at Reach Out Reptiles. And there's a few other people that he's really helped out and just levitated. And, we've talked, a long time about what he does and what he's looking to do for people in this industry. So that being said, if you're doing this for full time and you want to take this branding of yours to the next level and you want to take it serious, I guess, because you should, man. I mean, honestly, but let me ask you, how important do you feel like branding is if you're doing this full time?
Well, when you think about your logo, you want it to be something that's easily recognizable. And also 100%. At the same time, like you want to be able to talk to Stewart and be able to give him your vision and what you want and who you are as an entity and who you plan to be and like for this hobby too. And that's important. It's huge.
Yep, super huge. So Blake, can't wait to catch you at the next show. I know I didn't see you at Arlington, but you will be at Tinley. Speaking of Tinley, just want to say shout out to the NARBC, Brian Potter, Bob Ashley. I will see you guys soon. Shout out to those two guys. Shout out to anyone who goes to an NARBC because that's where it's at. Have you guys been to an NARBC yet?
No,
No.
dude. I want to go to Tinley later in October.
Get out.
I
I'm just
know.
kidding. No, you're good.
I used to live in Illinois too.
We got to make it happen. I'm telling you right now. I feel like the good thing is you guys are a part on, well, which I want to say shout out to Rami, okay, because, you know, the Reptile Super Shows, if you live on the West Coast, that's literally the #1 show by far. I feel like, I mean, you guys gone to
Nobody
Pomona.
does it better. Yeah.
You've been to Pomona, right? You went to the last Pomona, and shout out to Bubba for making an amazing piece, which was a drawing. Was it a painting, or can we
I
talk
whipped
about
it
that
up
real
in-
quick? Hold on, I'm gonna
Yeah,
show 'em
dude.
somewhere. Go ahead and talk about it.
So I whipped this stuff up in Procreate, and like it's kind of easy for me to do because I'm learning the tattoo and going through that process. It's really cool to make fun designs, and so we do this for stickers and such like that. Essentially, creating this PNG logo that you can take anywhere and slap it on stickers. You can make like canvases and stuff like that. And if we don't have animals to donate to USARK, sometimes we'll do designs. And like Anaheim, we did Komodo dragon piece, and then we also did a white cobra, the Lewistic cobra, and those were awesome. But also MJ's just blew it out of the water at Pomona for $3,000.
Was it
insane.
3K?
It was
Yeah.
3K.
And it was how big was it?
It was like a 16 by 20.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was a guy just like, I think he would have went higher. I mean, we could have actually run this guy up, but out of respect, I think 3K is a really solid number.
Yeah, well, no, dude, like, I don't know. I feel super humbled. I just wanted to be able to like help out. And
How similar is this
So
piece that
cool.
we're about to show? That I mean, is this
So,
the
they're
exact-
one of ones. So there was like different background and stuff, but this is essentially what I wanted to do is like, I wanted to make you like,
guys
a
ready for
piece
this?
that I met. Yeah, it was super cool.
Check that out.
Yeah, I actually met this snake in person the first time I met you,
I'm gonna
dude.
grab the snake. Hold that up, just like that.
Yeah, and like it was just a cool experience. I've always wanted a green tree python, and I just want to be able to dedicate my full time to them. And when I'm able, I just know right now I'm not able to keep them, but meeting them, experiencing that, and the hospitality that MJ had, I just wanted to be able to like help out a friend essentially. That's so cool.
There it is.
That's so awesome.
And I know I feel
There
bad. I
we
want to
go.
should have
Like
done a bigger
spot
one.
on with all
That
those
is
little
hard.
colors.
Literally,
It's such a beautiful snake, though.
very player, bro. I gotta say, this is one thing I feel like the hobby can never get enough of people like you doing stuff like this because the art will attract anyone to come look at Reptile. You know
Well, it
what
was
I mean?
also like, yeah, it was cool for me too because that's one of the first snakes that I've drawn, and like doing all those scales, like, bro, it was intense, but at the same time, like, taught me a lot too, and like, I don't know, I always like,
This is
taking care
awesome.
of people.
Thank you so much.
yeah, of course,
This is
yeah,
great. Thank
no
you.
problem.
So yeah, please, guys, if you guys can make it a priority to try to go to an NARBC show and go to a Reptile Super Show. That way, you could actually attend a USARK auction and get to hang out. And also, he also gave me these really awesome stickers as well. So I will give some stickers out to whoever drops a really legit comment, not in the live chats. I want to comment in the comment section after this episode. If you want one of these stickers, let me know and I'll shoot you one. But you have to drop a comment. Anyways, thank you so much. This is awesome. Shout out to Rami. Shout out to Bob, Ashley, and Brian Potter. You guys are amazing. I'll see you guys at Tinley, Brian and Bob. It's going to be amazing. And then shout out to US Art, guys. Whew, listen, Bubba, Lexi, you guys been in this game, let's say, at a serious standpoint where like you're looking at breeding at a financial point for how long now? How long have you guys been doing that for?
This was the first year. Actually, like last March, I went on medical disability because like my pacemaker thing, they're trying to figure that out. But I had to kind of make the business essentially like my hobby, right? So like my hobby and like business kind of blurred vision, but like also super thankful that it happened because it helped us stay afloat. And like also like USARK, supporting USARK is important because without them, we wouldn't be able to keep these animals. And without these animals, like, dude, like, I don't know. I've always kept these animals and they've always been an enjoyment to me. And like money comes absolutely second, but also where does that money go? It gets reinvested into the animals and such. So,
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like who else is like other than USARK, do you guys know of anyone else who's willing to go out there and help us fight for this shit when it hits the fan?
there's really like nobody else. Like
Well, there
that's gonna
is
be-
nobody else.
Yeah,
There's like literally nobody else who's literally going to the Senate and basically doing what, because you got to understand the people writing the laws or wanting to write the laws, they don't have a clue what it is that we do, and that's a scary thing. So, but what I'm trying to get at is for somebody as new as you guys being into this, you guys already know how important US ARC is.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a shame that there's people who've been in this 10 plus years and just don't choose to support US ARC. So what I'm saying is look at Bubba and Lexi as the example setters here on their first year in a business, repping and supporting US ARC to the fullest. And that drawing that you knew, I mean, we all had high hopes that was going to bring good money in that piece, but I feel like you were kind of inspired because you knew that this piece was going to be presented at US ARC and you wanted to bring as much as you possibly can into US ARC, and it was an overall success, man. Super huge.
I was blown away, because those Anaheim pieces, both of them together got like $350. So like, I don't know, even like I was super stoked about that, and like $3,000. Like think about how much it's going to help. Like,
right. Shout out to US ARC, shout out to Phil Goss, and shout out to you if you support US ARC for reals. And if you don't, I don't know what to say. I'm not going to be negative. Just whatever. If you guys can hit me up on Instagram if you want to know what I'm doing for whatever reason. If you're like, oh, MJ, you work with stuff? Yeah, I do, man. Ball pythons, bro. mjexoticscartal with an A, not an E. Check me out. And then go check out the Trap Talk with MJ's podcast. I'm still locked out. I will figure it out. But still, it's still open. Just go follow it. And shout out to my Twitch viewers, man. Twitch viewers going up. I see that. Shout out to you guys. Respect. If you guys have a question that you want to get to Bubba's Live Emporium set during this session here, shoot out a super chat. For whatever reason, my eyes can only read super chat questions. Haven't gone to the doctor for it yet, but I'm cool with it. So if you have a question you really want to get out, super chat that, and I send that super chat straight over to US ARC. That's just how I roll. So I also want to say shout out to my Patreon members. I'm actually sitting next to my Patreon members right here. Oh my God. Wait, Lexi, you're not a Patreon member.
Yeah, get out.
I'm
By default.
By default. But also, you also have a default because it's either you're a guest or you're either a Patreon member on how you got these shirts. You're a guest and you're both. So you make it. But as good as these look, like here, Lexi, come over here a little bit more. Just come towards. Yeah, we go. There. Pocket tees, okay? I should have worn mine, but they're both dirty.
You can put anything in there.
You could put it. You really could put
Geckos,
anything in there. Yep. A little Percy sack, whatever you want. But all I got to say, guys, these are now available. So not only do my Patreon members and the guests who were on the show have them, but you could actually get them too if you want to get your hands on one of these Trap Talk special edition pocket t-shirts and look as good as this couple is right.
I don't know if you
turn around.
Trapping is a sport.
It's not for everybody. Okay?
Somebody take a screenshot.
And then, can you shake? We got to shake. Okay, here we go. But guys, thank you for all the support. My Patreon members, I will tap in with you guys right after this episode. I get together with my Patreon community on Zoom calls. So we tap in every Sunday. There's a Discord link that you get to join. Dude, what do you think about the Discord? You know that Discord is jumping 24/7.
I'm so excited. Like, I don't want to just like post because like also it's just like there's so much going on, and like the pages too. It has extreme potential too for people just going and like wanting to talk to other breeders and keepers too, like
100%.
Who maybe don't feel comfortable going out and reaching out straight to their DMs too. What if they're in that Discord? And most of the time they likely are. Everybody's in your Discord.
But the awesome thing about just being a part of any Discord that's actually a good positive Discord is we all fuck with each other, man. Like, we're all here to try to support each other. We all want each other to grow in it. And it can be difficult trying to, fit into a growing community like ours. Because, you're only new for so long and then the next person new, right?
Yeah.
But then, like you said, a lot of people don't have the best people skills. It's hard for them to kind of just step into something that's already flowing. So if you're in a rut or if you feel like you're not really fucking connecting with people, then join the Trap Talk Patreon family. We have all different types of people. We have shy ones. We have fucking awkward ones. We have ones that are outspoken like me. We have ones that wear wigs and just let loose on his stories like this guy.
Yes.
I'm telling you, man, we all comes in different shapes and sizes. But we all fuck with each other. So that being said, shout out to my Patreon members. If you want to join, go down to the link below, join today, and I'll see you all my Patreon chapters right after the show. Appreciate all the love and support, man. I think that's it. We got early birds, man. Oh, my early birds are jumping right now. Who's all in the building right now? Let's see. So we have my man Matt from Evolution Exotics. What is good? Trap Talk Patreon family member all day. Chantel, what is up, player? Pacific Northwest in the building. Girl power all day. I love the women in the industry because we need more of them, but B, the ones that are sticking around are on top of their shit.
Oh, 100%. She's on Bubba'S too. She replies to people too. She's sending you messages and she's like, you right on, brother. I'm like, don't sound like me.
Girl power. You rock, girl. All right, Julio, what's up? Trap Talk family member all day, every day. Dude, we got Norway in the building. Dude, you're global. You're global. What's up? Thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate it. Wise guys, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Colt Holtman, what is good? I like some of these names. I just love saying them. It's like almost like an actor name or something, right?
Yeah.
Colt Holman, so
Oh,
sick.
the profile picture is awesome.
Yeah, oh, is he working out? Oh, he's swole. Here we go. Mason Johnson, what is good? Not Mason Burns. That's cool.
Maybe they're related.
Yeah, maybe they're related. Lily, Trapper right here. Trap Talk family member all day, every day. What is good? Triple G, Trap Talk family member all day, every day. What is good? Arthiz, that's a sick name, right? Arthiz, that's his real name.
I like the logo too.
Yeah, it's just hard. Trap Talk family member all day, every day. The homie Nate Dog, what is good? Trap Talk family member all day. Ooh, the wife tapping in. She just put your flowers in water right now. So thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Got Vegas in the building. The homie Dom 702 Serpents. What is good? You got the homie Ryan from High as Balls. What is good? Thanks for tapping in. By the way, all two of these, and then obviously the Trap Queen Patreon family members all day, every day. Thank you so much. Gray Riders, Reptiles. What is good? Thanks for tapping in. All right, who else is in here? We got the homie Sean from Sound Serpents. What is good? Thanks for tapping in. Reptilian. Did I say that right? Reptilian. Reptalian.
Reptilian. He's definitely an
alien.
Yeah.
Cool. Exotics. Thanks for being here. Fuck. Jay Hendo, what is good? Trap Talk family member all day. Let's see, a couple more. Patrick, what is good? Got the homie Patrick Rose in the building. And we're going to end up with the homie Marlon because he's just a chondro boy just trying to make it. What is good, player? Repping Florida all day, every day. Oh, hold on. Got this guy right here, Shane. What's up, Shane? In the building. Thanks for being here, buddy.
You have to ask him, is that an alpaca or is that a llama?
I mean, Shane, he'd probably say neither. Knowing Shane would probably say it's a Typaca, which is a tiger and an alpaca. I think that's what be Shane.
Hybrid.
It's a hybrid. Hey, Shane, thanks for tapping in. I can tell you this guy right here is somebody to follow. His Coluber game is on fucking fire. Check him out. Thank you so much. The real P&D fucking warrior in the building. Thanks for being here. All right, okay, Texas Kid Reptile. Thank you. I love Texas, I guess. And
yeah,
homie Jake. Okay, the homie Jake. Just because you're a member and I do bust your balls a lot. This is the homie Jake. He's in the building as well. All right, that's it. All right, guys. So I'm so excited because this is overdue. I'm so sorry I couldn't do. We were supposed to have this happen the weekend of Arlington, but let me just say
that's a lot though.
There was, dude, I tried, and Matthew Summers, he kept feeding me mushroom chocolates, and I was like, Matthew, stop it. And I was like, I need a fucking, I got a podcast. No, actually what it was just me partying too hard. I think I just went too damn hard. And then my wife was doing so much here, and it was like stressful because she's like, yo, get your ass over here and then give me all the attention in the world. So I was like, and I didn't want to rush
Super
this.
Bowl Sunday.
It was too. Super Bowl Sunday too, which, the halftime show was lit. This is going to be more lit, but I'm just saying, look, we're happening. It's here. I'm glad.
Yeah,
and I mean, Bubba, we just recently met each other probably like 2-3 months ago? I mean, when have we really actually meet and start fucking with each other? How long has it been? It was when Alex came down.
Yeah, Alex is like a really good friend that we
shout out to
met
Alex
recently. Yeah.
I love Alex.
I think when was it? Like an August show? We went out to Tucson or Phoenix, and I don't know, I just met this goofy guy across the table from ours, and we were just like flexing at each other. I think he was like pink at the time. He's going through like a transitional phase.
All around.
Yeah, he hits like the gradients for sure.
Yeah. But he's one of those guys that you feel happy to have in the industry like this, because Alex is somebody who's been around the block. Like he's people that I look up to give me stories about Alex, and it's like, okay, so that tells me that Alex has been around. You know what I mean?
And he grew up too, like in the heart of like pretty much herp culture, and like
it's still there right now.
Yeah, and like we went out there kind of like a couple weekends ago and just had so much fun, just at his house and like just hanging out and kind of playing Smash Bros. And he's not that good at that game, but it was fun.
I mean, I will tell you what, Alex is somebody.
He's super low key too. Like I don't know how he's not blown up already.
Yeah, so guys, go give him a follow. Really go give him a follow on Instagram right now. There's this homie Alex, because the homie Alex is also good friends with my homie Andrew. I'm telling you, like, this is somebody who's really, really awesome. Just to be in touch with, man. This guy really just keeps it real, but more importantly, where he lives is like herp mecca, bro. Like it's
he grew up in that life though too. Yeah.
But I I know you were talking about you guys looking to move at some point, right? But Arizona would be maybe one of those potential spots. Like, do you really see yourself living in Arizona one day?
Potentially, dude. I like the cold. That's like my thing is like that's gonna be a little hot for me. But also like it's very rare where you meet people that you just like kind of click with, like. And dude, like me going every like 2 to 3 years and moving and always like on the move and reselling collections and like doing reptiles was so taboo. like there was nothing like out back then. So like I was just always like doing football and like playing like sports, doing high school, and then like trying to do college, and then do the reptiles at the same time. But that juggling act is really hard, and meeting people that are like meaningful in your life and just kind of you vibe with straight away is, dude, that's really hard to find.
I think what matures anybody is like passionately working with animals at a young age. I mean, anyone I've really fucked with who's been working with animals since they were like 14, 13 are like really like, they're like old souls. You know what I mean? And, and only because their interests are different than their typical person their age. You know, like a lot of people want to go fucking bottle pop or go to a club and shit like that. You know what I mean? Where you rather go to see your clutch pip or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why you like, so shout out to the homie Andrew Acevedo, man. You know who Andrew Acevedo is?
I think that's Herptofauna, right?
Yep, Herptofauna.
Like,
and Alex
friends,
is really
right?
good friends. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're like lovers. I'm just kidding. No, they're actually not really good homies, but really Alex is kind of on that spectrum, or I'm sorry, Andrew's on that spectrum of just like, you know, he's Andrew's like 23, but really like you meet the guy and he's like 43. Like he's been working with croc monitors since he was 14. Like he's just built different.
And like, yeah, those people who kind of grow up in like that make me feel like I haven't been around that. Like my mom, bro, she had a monkey when I was younger. Like she had a Java macaque for like 6 months because like permit, dude, she got me into like all these animals.
Do you remember the monkey?
Yeah, we have like pictures with it where it's like in a diaper or two, and like
what happened
it would
to
like
it?
jump around. You can only have them for 6 months because then they get too big. Yeah, and they can mess you up.
So it's just like a temporary thing, kind of like a boarding
she
thing?
was just like, I want that kind of like experience. So yeah, she kind of like essentially like fostered.
Damn. Hold on, let me close my window.
No,
okay, with that being said, let me say, I want to ask you, what was it that kind of sparked your interest first? Was it like the mammals or was it reptiles?
Dude, everything, animals, like Zaboomafoo. Like I grew up on like that stuff, dude. Like Steve kind of came out like doing all those crazy stuff, and I felt like I grew up on that. But at the same time, like my mom used to breed like dogs, and so like we had ferrets, we had like all kinds of animals. I had that same gecko, and then we had like chameleons and stuff. So it kind of just, I've always loved animals, and like being able to work with them is something I've dreamed about since like I always wanted to make that possible, and it wasn't until like kind of falls in your lap.
And it's crazy how, like, I mean, I don't know, Bubba, it seems like you're in a place where things are only getting better. What like, you know, certain things fall in your lap, right? But then as you make the right move on it, then another thing lands on your lap. And that kind of just how the flow goes, you know, like things always come in waves, especially when you're like grinding so hard, right? But at the end of the day, when do you expect seeing results if you're not grinding? Like that's the only way to get results is by putting yourself out there and you have what you're doing. And
like it doesn't matter the quality of like the content that you're doing or like the character that you're trying to be or anything. Like as long as you try, to be a good person, try to be a good keeper, like that's all that you can do. And like if you are trying, then doesn't that already make you like the best?
Right.
Essentially.
Right.
So like you just gotta try.
Yeah, because let me ask you this. I mean, you're somebody who's obviously, you know, we're gonna pull up your page here in just a second, but I feel like you guys kind of take your presentation serious. I mean, I at least put some thought behind it, which I think is awesome. Not everybody puts like skulls and shit in their photos, but what I'm getting at, there's a lot of people who just start into this, who like, you know, like start a brand, like they go as far as starting a logo, they go as far as sticker swapping, do all this stuff, but they never post. And their reason behind posting is that they don't have enough snakes. But I feel like you could get more creative behind it. I feel like you don't need to just wait to buy more stuff to post more stuff.
Well, I mean, I have a YouTube channel like that has videos on YouTube from like 8-9 years ago when I was doing this like with my little brother, and like we had like 5 animals, but we were trying to make like informational videos and stuff, and like the pictures too is like, dude, like they're beautiful animals, awesome, and like I want to be able to represent that just in a kind of nice way, dude. Like the Abronia are, dude, they're a heartbreak, but they're one of the best species that I've had the pleasure of working with for sure.
So Abronia, I've learned to love Abronia. Like I only learn to love Abronia more and more. It seems like, because how interesting they are. But what drew you to Abronia? Like what was it that got you to want to keep Abronia?
Dude, funny thing, like 2019. One of our friends was looking for a pair of those, and a shop local to us was looking for like some of our animals, and we were just going to do like a trade. And when I got the animals in, he's like, no, those are wild caught. So like, obviously I had to handle that, but I was in the possession of like some for like maybe like 4 months, and dude, I just fell in love.
So you're in possession of wild caught ones for 4 months?
Yeah, so they were from the shop, and like
Oh,
the
got it,
shop
okay.
sold them to me, and they were like they're captive bred. Like I didn't know anything.
You
And
talking
like,
about the shop in Imperial Beach?
no.
Okay.
This was towards like Riverside.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't really like feed into like drama, and respectfully, I don't really want to like say any names or anything
So
like
who
that.
was it again?
I know.
No.
But like, so the wild
Because out of respect, this is super touchy shit.
Yeah.
Like Abronia is like you got
they're endangered species, and you shouldn't play around with that.
And Stephen Kush shut me down. Like when as soon as I went to visit RepTech for the first time, and that's when they had their it wasn't a Montaigne room, it was like the Abronia room, and they had a bunch of Abronia, and I actually saw how big these fuckers can get, and I was like, dude, these are fucking amazing.
This one's only like eight months old, and
it's only gonna be that by the time it gets bigger, that thing's gonna be flossing even more,
dude.
But what's amazing is beautiful is how prehistoric they are when you look at them and whatnot, and they need colder temperatures that are from the high altitudes and whatnot. So that being said, of course, after I leave in RepTech my first time there, I looked into Abronia, and all I had to do was go on Craigslist, and I fucking found somebody selling them on Craigslist.
Yeah.
And I remember telling Steven, I'm about to pick up some Abronia, and he called me right away, and he's like, "You better not." I'm like, "What?" He's like, that species shouldn't even be here, blah blah blah. And honestly, like at first I thought he was hating, and I was like, and that's just like me being typical MJ, but I was like, dude, listen to what Steven's saying, and just like, because at the end of the day, let's say I do inquire that, and I do post it and keep posting it and keep posting it, things are going to come down on where did you really get that animal from, and can you prove that this is captive born and bred? And 10 out of 10 times, nobody could prove that these are captive born and bred unless it comes from Nick Gordon, unless it comes from RepTech. There's another person who's breeding these pretty good right now too. You
just had Armin on too.
Armin, but he hasn't bred them yet. But he said there's somebody else out there too. I forget. But anyways, these are just some like United States captive born and bred Abronia is easy to document at this point. So at that point, bro, when I was like, well, you mean that none of this shit I could really get my hands on because it's illegal? It pushed me out of it. I was like, I don't want to keep it.
So we're getting there. It's just hard. And like they do take like 2 to 3 years to sexually mature, especially for females. And if you want the like longevity wise, when you just want them to thrive and not survive, like you really have to put in the work to get there. And a lot of people are trying to take shortcuts. Those babies, I have pictures from like their first week of life too, like where they were like on my little index finger, like drinking. Yeah, they're like brown, gray. And then we also use Husbandry Pro, so they have their own QR codes and stuff like that. So we're working on it, but like I've never bred them, dude. Like, I don't have the heart to work with like wild caught species, and like we've tried. Like I won't like lie, but it's hard.
I mean, at this point, you're better off establishing United States captive born and bred ones and just waiting and just putting in your time and breeding them, because obviously there's not enough people breeding them. We need more people to breed them. That way we can make the market of what's coming out of Mexico into here less and less, because these things are just getting picked out a while like it's fucking nothing.
What's hard is like everybody sees like the captive born and bred ones for like $400 or $600, and then they see the wild caught ones for $200, and like regardless, people are gonna get into them, and it sucks. And I don't know, that's a whole different like ball game. It's really hard. That one's Darth Maul.
Yeah, and one of the things that like you mentioned too, like how it's kind of hard to show
proof.
That's something we really want to work on when we do start breeding, and is having it very legit, having like certificates to like show like the parents and everything like that, because we don't want to just be selling them to just nobody, you know what I mean? Like we want to make sure that people are taking care of them and actually know what they're doing and what they're getting into.
Yeah, for somebody to buy one from us, like, dude, like
good luck.
These are one of my babies, bro.
It's
like,
not happening.
Yeah.
You have to have that enclosure set up. We have to go through a process of where like you're sending me temp checks like daily and stuff like this,
But I mean, realistically,
day,
Bubba, like you would want to put this in the hands with somebody else working with them.
Yeah, it's usually
so
my
like
friends,
an Armin or something. You know what I mean?
Mason Barnes has 2 females from us from 2019, and then he's actually picking up one of our young Graminia males. So hopefully he's on his way to do that himself, too.
Oh, I love these. The only reason why I have not gone the Abronia route just yet is because like I'm complete. This whole house I live in is completely off ambience, whatever the temperature is, and these fuckers need cold not cold, but they need to be low 70s, high 60s consistently. Am I right?
So actually how we keep them just like in our house too with ambient, but we limit it so it doesn't get really higher than 75. And then I also have a misting system that goes off like 5 to 9 times a day, but also it like dries out in between those periods of misting.
So that's why
Yeah.
the remisting helps.
Yeah, so we just did kind of like leopard geckos on our YouTube channel, and like next up, the species that I want to help next is like Abronia. So like teaching people how to actually care for them, how not to, things to look out for is like the wild caught side, don't like buy those animals and stuff like that, maybe why. So kind of explain a little bit more into them, you know.
So based off your knowledge right now, for anyone out there listening who are like maybe thinking about getting to Abronia, what would be your method, or what would be your way into the Abronia game right now if you were to get into it?
There's some awesome Facebook groups that are Abronia related that have some really educated people in there, and people that are on the floor in Mexico too, in the cloud forest, actually documenting where these animals live, and also like captive people around the US and even in Germany and the UK where they have these animals, and it's different styles of care for wherever you are. I'm in Southern California where my house stays at around 60% humidity.
Right.
So it really depends where you are. If you're in a drier climate, of course, they're going to be harder to keep, a little bit harder than chameleons.
So like what would be like, for instance, if I were to keep this in the living room without a Mist King or anything like that, or without like that monsoon rain thing, how often would you manually spray an animal like this?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend, like for your lifestyle too, like going around and doing all those stuff. It's really easy to forget, and they have really fast metabolism. So like dehydration and like them getting food like really needs to be kind of like on top of it, so especially for raising them out.
So you're saying have something that's automatic.
100%.
Yeah. And so how
it just helps you in the long run. There's no burnout.
How often would it how often do you see does it go on and off as far as
so right now it's a little colder and like it's not as dry out, so right now it's going off like 6 times a day, but at anywhere between like 10 to like 20-second intervals.
You know, it's crazy that you say it's not as dry out, but where I'm at, it's drier this time of year.
Yeah.
Just because you're just a little bit north. Yeah. But right now, like, is my year where I have like even some ball pythons having stuck shed for just because the way we have our air down here, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, maybe because of the wind, like the coastal winds around this time are blowing it away.
Yeah. I mean, summertime, like I don't have any issues with humidity. You know, it does kind of get a little bit dry, but I can keep this. You know,
what's crazy? Did anything go off like early for you this year? Because the barometric pressure was like crazy.
I mean, right now the only thing happening, I have the super dwarfer chick that laid eggs a month ago, and then I have the boa who ovulated about a month ago, but those are first timers, and anything that's happening right now is all first timing. So anything from last year is already breeding, but nothing has happened yet. But you got to understand too, I didn't get my first clutch until July, so. I don't know. I mean, I think whatever does go early is probably going to be like May, June. But I can tell you right now, I'm already seeing like, it's funny you said that, dude.
I've been working with animals. Like,
check this out. No, because one of my prized possession like clutches that are projects that I have is the GHI stuff. So my GHI Leopard girl, who she was my first clutch last year, who laid for me, and she ovulated in May and then ovulated the end of May and then laid in July, right? But she's already like bull wrapping like right now. Like I feel like she's gonna ovulate more like in April.
Yeah. So like especially like here, dude, like we can't really go off of we don't
seasons.
have a facility.
There's no seasons.
Yeah, we don't have a facility where everything's like climate controlled. So everything's gonna be in lieu. Like for our season kicked off like 2 to 3 months earlier this year.
Right.
Just because like we got all that rain and then like the global warming, bro.
So let me ask you guys this. What is your preparation now? I mean, for instance, like last year, you guys bred what? And you know, you could go first, Bubba, because I know you had your first eggs at the end of last year, or
no, the beginning of this year.
This year, okay. So
no, it was December.
They laid in December.
Oh, so the eggs landed in December. They came out in January.
Yeah.
But what were you making last year? Because I know you've bred leopard geckos and whatnot.
Yeah,
right?
We actually hatched some like 3 nosy fallies that a friend gave to us. So those are chameleons. Okay. I had some. Did we have any odds and ends hatch? We just had a bunch of leopard geckos, some African fat tails.
The African fat tails too.
And then just rose up a bunch of like litters of Abronia, and dude, that takes up a lot of time.
The Abronia was how recent? Like when did you just start adding Abronia?
So my first experience with them was 2019, and I tried like buying from reputable people selling captive born as wild caughts,
Right.
and that definitely went down a downhill real quick. And so what we ended up doing is like, let me scrap this, let me see if anybody's bred them and try to find babies and raise up. So I did that with the group, and I rose like a couple of those up, ended up keeping one, and Armin bought two of them, those females, and then Mason has them now. So those are really cool. They're like big, robust females, and like captive born and bred stuff is like so hardy, and
It's a complete difference. I think
it's
that's
a
like
complete difference.
that's another reason why you're better off soughting after something more established versus getting something that's just going to die on you.
Yeah.
And just because it's cheaper, like you're
Yeah,
just
and also not to talk about price, but like
Yeah.
also it's an endangered species. Why would it be $200? And like, why are you going to take it serious if it's something that, oh, I can just get another one?
right. Yep,
It sucks.
it's true. Now, with that being said, I mean, how is it really with your upkeep? Like, I know snakes is something you want to definitely see yourself getting more into, but right now with the leopard geckos and the Abronia, what is like the upkeep like for you at this point with the amount of animals you have?
So we keep, I think, over 15 different species now, because we do keep a couple different species of Abronia, so that adds
So-
up a little bit. But she has her own snakes too. Like, what do you have?
I mean, with the hogs too, it's definitely different because we were mostly like a lot of geckos, so
Right.
it's kind of like a lot more upkeep on like the substrate. Because with the leopard geckos, it's really easy to just do the paper towel, and that makes it the easiest to clean,
Right.
if I'm being honest. But he does a lot of the cleaning, and then I'll help out on the side when I can. But
the upkeep's not bad,
yeah.
dude. Like, still, like, I try to keep it to where if I want to go somewhere for approximately 5 days, I'll be fine to where I can just have somebody kind of sit at the house, maybe turn the lights on and off, and where everything's on automated systems where I can step away from that. But the geckos, dude, they're easy. Like anything that's crepuscular or nocturnal, don't really need like those day and night cycles. And for the most part, they're built to last. So like the food and stuff like that, they're fine.
And then as far as lighting supplement, like supplementation, like what are you doing for lighting? Like, do you have UVB bulbs for majority of like your Abronia and whatnot, or like how are you supplementing lighting for them?
Yeah, so trying to figure out bulbing for that, I would definitely recommend like Arcadia bulbs, like the T5s. But like for the new stuff, like the VivTech bulbs, dude, like I wish like I can upgrade everything so all the Abronia have a VivTech bulb in there. He's like, oh, no way. Yeah, so we have big bay windows too.
I recommend VivTech.
Yes.
Oh wait,
Well,
this is
no,
not a paid sponsorship promo. I swear to God.
they're not going to break too. You saw him like,
But-
taking a hammer in there too.
But I mean, I will tell you what, okay, because if it's one thing that I can't stand is putting anything that could potentially like burn your snake, right? Like one thing that I've had, like one bad horror story I have is I had a really big adult Halmahera scrub python who somehow nudged, and it wasn't a UBV bulb, obviously, it was a fucking actually ceramic heat bulb.
Ceramic one.
But you know, I don't want to say my cages are old, but I've had like taken old protections down and put new ones. For whatever reason, one of the screws was stripped, right? So it was kind of dangling, and so he, you know, snakes are so fucking smart, right? So I don't know what happened, man. All I know is that he got into the caging and wrapped around that bulb, and that bulb fucking cooked him, and it was terrible. You know what I mean?
It's crazy that they don't have like that pain sensor that they're
No,
just trying to
they
warm
don't
up.
they don't understand it. Yeah, right. So I'm very like, I was very anti putting any kind of lighting whatsoever. And so these bulbs right here, and they're only 3 watts, right? So
They're screwing everywhere too.
they love being underneath them, but they have no purpose wrapping over them. They have no purpose. And even if you wrap over this, like if you look at it, like it's designed,
Plastic, so-
it's designed where like it's not a fucking bulb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I had a bunch of Zumed or Exoterra UBV bulbs, which honestly never really saw anything until I replaced them with these. And now my monitor just loved chilling underneath.
Yeah,
them,
your
bro.
female was just basking
Just
under it.
chilling, bro. I'm telling you right now, it's a game changer. And you know, you gotta understand, like I'm from an era, not really an era, but I'm like fucking cool bioactive, bro. Like right on. Go ahead and do that route if you want. But you know, I was also Mr. Like, I don't think every fucking snake needs lighting. But I take that back. Like after seeing just monitors react, even certain snakes, man, like she has a UVB bulb, a VibTech. Like they love being underneath these bulbs for some reason.
Any animals too, when you give them that natural sunlight, the UVA and UVB rays too, it just brings out the natural thing, and then they also see differently in that light. So it's a totally different experience for them altogether.
I just test dropping one literally on its thing. And
Yeah, he threw it against the wall.
It did not break.
VidTech.
Wow, I'm telling you, VidTech's the truth. Shout out to Erica, shout out to Ryan McVeigh. Go give him a follow on VidTech.
Buy a 20-pack.
But I mean, let me ask you this. I brought up, I used to go.
One of our friends uses them for Abronia.
Dude, I want all of our friends to use them.
Yeah.
That's my goal. My goal is to make sure all my friends use this, and I will at some point have. I would give you guys one of these, but
No,
I
dude, yeah,
have
keep
these
them.
12 are for my focus cube habitats that I'm coming. I'm doing like the whole thing, but
Yeah,
I really recommend them. And Ryan has no problem throwing me some to give to people. So I definitely want to get some of these bulbs in your collection.
Yeah,
and
we'll
have
work
you
it out
do,
with Ryan too. He's super cool.
and have you do like a little video, because I mean,
Yeah.
the more documentation on these, the better. I feel like, because they're the truth. I really feel it.
Yeah, they have certain times too. Like throughout the day, I'll literally go out there and I'll see all of them just right under those UVB bulbs, and
chilling.
just like soaking it in. And then we'll go and feed them, and it's hilarious because they're so smart too.
Like look at even
They're like mini monitors.
Even the crickets, they're like, dude, this
They're
is
like basking in
awesome.
front of it.
Yeah,
I know.
crazy. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about bioactive enclosures, because that's another thing too. I used to be very fucking why bioactive, and I understand that there is a good, there's a way of doing bioactive setups. Like it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have 20 plus chondros and stuff like that, to me, I feel like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot if you want 20 bioactive enclosures for a chondro.
And also, is it the best for the animal? It's kind of maybe not in the case for stuff that potentially is imported or is susceptible to diseases like nidovirus and stuff like that. But really, a bioactive is hard to pull off, and not a lot of people do it right, which is the hard thing. And being able to have all these big snakes poop, imagine all the isopods and the springtails that would have to be in there. And then people do feed their isopods, and they feed them like anchovies and stuff, so they're really not hungry to eat after your snake too. So that could lead to bacteria infections and stuff like that, potentially.
I mean,
because you're thinking, oh, they're going to take care of all the poop and stuff, but they're you'd have to have a lot of them.
So I mean, so for somebody like yourself who obviously wants to get into chondro someday, you would be more likely taking the straightforward route with the enclosure setup, or how would you?
Yeah, the focus cubes.
Right.
Yeah,
would
it
you
seems
substrate? Would you not want it? What would you personally feel comfortable using if it were you?
So it depends too, because I love the focus.
There's a bunch of different ways of doing it.
Yeah,
I got
100%,
homies that
yeah.
use substrate, but I'm just curious for somebody like yourself. What would in your head? What would you feel comfortable wanting to use?
Yeah, so the focus cubes are awesome, and I really love the design, and that's one way of doing it, and then another way is trying to be super naturalistic about it.
Right.
But that can be hard to pull off with an animal that you need to get through a health phase. So once you have a healthy individual, if you want to put them up in a really nice naturalistic enclosure, by all means.
This is
do
weird,
it.
right? This is
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
I
100%.
swear to God, if this is angel dust, I'll be really pissed.
Angel dust? What is that? I don't even work here.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I see, especially people in Europe, some people in Europe are just, they have the most crazy enclosures, that's literally a live fucking.
Different standards, yeah, 100%.
So I feel like if you're willing to take it to that point and you want to put that much dedication, then yeah, go ahead and do it.
Oh yeah, and imagine us being at the potential to do something like that, where all these animals have everything, but realistically, that's gonna take a lot of money, and not all of us at the beginning, we put all of our money and assets into doing something like this and being able to do this at our maximum potential. So most cases, it takes time, and most of us can't afford freedom breeders right away. So you have to go through a phase.
I'm on year 4, barely getting my first freedom breeder. And
This is like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I've never smoked weed before in my life. That's for my family watching.
Oh, so shout out to the family. Sorry, I'm a bad influence.
No,
My
mom's probably watching.
But
She's
mom,
super
he
cool.
brought me this just so you know. I didn't bring this.
Found it outside.
No, it's interesting to say, because like I said, because I used to be I've changed a lot, but I'm still trying to keep myself from being my way is the best way, but that's just me being like stubborn and me being me. But I do see people out there who do take the time to set up a bioactive and put a chondro in it. And I think it's awesome. I just feel like personally, if you never kept chondros before, why not see if you could keep it alive first on paper and see if you could at least do that route. And once you have a chondro for a few years and you could get it root, if it's thriving for you, then I feel like you could go ahead and go all right, add some substrate, go and add a plant, go and add another plant, go and add a fish, whatever the fuck you want to do. If it's eating systematically for you and it's ripping, then I feel like you could go ahead and go that route. But just be prepared. Yeah. If that shit has mites, if a mite pops up on a chondro, meaning like, and it could come from an animal you bring in, just whenever, mites fucking happen. That happens. That happens. You got to murk that whole enclosure, just so you know. If you really want to put that chondro back in there after mite treatment, that has to all be brand new stuff. Personally, that's what I think. Otherwise, you're just you have to treat that whole enclosure.
Yeah, well, I mean, that goes like with the tubs versus like caging too. Like realistically, the focus cubes and stuff like this, where it's set up for the animal, like that's going for their direct needs too. You're not going for any like jazz hands effects, you're really like catered to that animal. You're specifically dedicated to keeping that animal alive, keeping everything sanitary, and keeping it on a systematic feeding schedule where it's going to get past any health issues and stuff like that. And in the long run too, we have advanced to where that environment already is a perfect, suitable environment for the longevity of its life as well too. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Like definitely we're not throwing these guys in like small enclosures. Like everything here is big, beautiful, and like healthy, right?
I mean, awesome. You tell me, you're sitting in front of it, Bubba.
Yeah, like
anything dying in front of you? Oh God, knock on wood. Here's the thing, like everything's capable of dying by tomorrow. Like this is like, I just value everything that is thriving today because it might not be thriving tomorrow. And it's just the more you're on top of your shit, the more you can keep that from happening. But can you really? And especially when you start breeding these things, bro, like there's so many things that just go in a different direction or can go good or bad when it comes to breeding these green tree pythons. I haven't even bred emeralds yet. I mean, that's going to happen at the end of this year. I'm terrified, to be honest, because I've heard that the males could be combative. Males could bite the females and shit.
Also, like, don't listen to like hear that and like heed that warning too. But like,
I'm gonna let it happen,
the uncompass thing too.
Well, just like how mangroves eat each other and like fucking Stephen Cush, Mr. Oh, be careful with your white lips, man. They're known of killing each other. And I talked to Ryan Young, and Ryan Young is a pronoun white lip python breeder, and he laughed at that. He was like, "What?" He's like, "I've never ever. I'm on my 5th fucking white lip python clips. Never seen any of that." Yeah. I'm thinking in my head, you fucking Stephen Cush. Shout out to the Scrub King, by the way. He is very dreamy, but you were wrong on that one, buddy.
I actually have a snake from him.
What? Through
Alex. Yeah.
What snake? So went to Alex and went to you?
Yeah. So Alex he was like, check out this snake, and then he's like, it's yours, and I was like, what the hell? Because I love ball pythons, but at the same time, like, I want like our facility this year too. Like we're trying to like move and like expand. Like I want a ranch.
So he put a ball python in your hands?
Oh, yeah. And he said, "That's yours."
I was like, "What is this?" He said, "It's your snake."
But what? Kush Productions.
It's a pastel leopard het pied.
Is it female or male? What are you doing with it?
Loving her, dude. She's beautiful.
Let's make some money off of it.
She's sitting in
She's still a little small.
Okay.
Like
pastel leopard, 100% het pied.
She's pretty, dude.
Nice.
She has really nice iridescence and like her pattern. Shout out Alex.
And what I could
He's always taking care of us.
I just need to make you a male then.
A male? Yeah.
Because dude, if it's one thing about I know this is about them right now, but I'm just saying my pied game this year is through the roof. I'm about to fucking produce some sick ass pied shit.
Yeah, like the clown pied stuff too is like off the charts. I've seen like your hypo stuff too. The hypo stuff's like crazy.
Oh, nice. Kush production, huh? When did Kush get into the pied stuff? I'm so confused. Are you sure this is a Kush production? Are you sure it's het pied? I mean, it's not het clown.
So it was either het exanthic or pied, and then I think he confirmed, and it was like pied.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can confirm from you.
She's a pet to me.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
she's only ball python right now. Yeah.
So that being said, obviously you have goals right now. Like you're saying, you're looking to buy a ranch and whatnot. Are you waiting to get more established?
Oh yeah.
There first before you add any ball pythons to the projects, or
there's steps like this next move. Like after that, I'll probably pick up like a few, and like even there, like I only want like a select group, of like really refined projects too. Like even leopard geckos, I really don't have a lot. Like I don't like having an excess amount too. Like I really just like doing what I did. like,
Right.
you know.
I mean, and I feel like that's what's important. Even though you hear one market's popping, like just stay focused on your shit. You know what I mean? Because I feel like so many people are like trendy. You know what I mean? And you should really be worried about creating your own trends. You know, and if you're really passionate about something, it kind of shows.
Well, like leopard geckos too.
Leopard geckos.
A lot of people, there's like disrespect like on leopard geckos, but like, dude, I love them, and it's something that I've enjoyed like my whole life too. So
let's just talk about the typical like leopard gecko. Or wait, what I do?
Like a wild type?
No, not wild type. I want to talk about as far as like the caring and whatnot, right? So like if any, because I feel like this is definitely like an easy sell for like a kid or like, you know, like a first pet type thing. Because I remember I had one of these in high school and it was awesome to keep. But what's the overall care for a leopard gecko? You feel like, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Am I right?
Yeah. So right now we keep them in tubs. So I keep them in V35s, like my adults and breeders. So that floor space is also bigger than like a 20 gallons floor space. So
and what's the temps?
Like their hotspot's going to be like in my adults, it's going to be 93. And then variants down, that's their hotspot. So variants down to like 75 room temp.
But that, okay, 75 room temp, you said?
Yeah.
But they always have that 93 hotspot to show
always.
Just in case they always need it?
Sometimes I'll bring it up, bring it down, like depending on like what I need. Like if they're cooling down for the winter, stuff like that, I'll just leave it at 90 instead of 93.
Okay.
Try not to keep their metabolisms up like all the time.
And then, you know, for instance, let's kind of talk about how you started with these. You know, obviously you kept them at a young age, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at what point did you start breeding these?
I think I had my first pairing in like 2012.
Damn.
And like just growing up, dude, like that's what I'm saying. Like we have a old school like reptile channel called Reptile Insanity, where like I was like how to breed reptiles and like how to sext, but like I spelt it wrong, dude. It was insane. Like it was just me and my little brother having fun and like wanting to dream about this stuff, doing this
one right here?
Yes, dude.
What?
Like way back when.
And you just stopped putting content out or what?
Well, that was me just doing it like growing up, you know.
But why don't you pick it up? It's still there.
He does on our Bubba'S.
Oh, okay, so you have
YouTube,
a different channel.
So we have a new channel.
Okay, but this one's still sitting at 1,000. That's tight.
We said 1,000, yeah, on our new one too. I just wanted to clean it up because like also
this
is
you
like
and your brother
experience. Right here? No, that was one of my friends, like football friends.
He has
but
his brother
go
in
back
one
to
of the
like
videos.
one of the first ones I say like how to sex, like go all the way down. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like how to sext, like
how to sex like
message?
Sexting or something.
Yeah,
I know you were doing back then.
Yeah, dude, this was 2012.
How to Sex a Leopard Gecko by RI. RI's is not really.
Yeah,
I
and then also back then, yeah, I was like 13, and I was like, yeah, I don't even know what RI is, and then like 2 years later, I was like, damn, it's respiratory infections.
Like, you know, think about it. Where'd you get that leopard gecko? RI reptiles. Oh, that's just not.
You're like,
that doesn't sound like
that's just not the move.
Red flag.
So with that being said, you know, your YouTube grind's like what right now? What are you doing with your YouTube channel?
I just want to put out information, dude. Like I'm actually having fun filming this stuff, and like there's a million different ways to keep them, and like if somebody can benefit from something that we do, like that, like longevity wise, dude, like I want to be around for a while, and like I would love our kids to be able to like be a part of this community and have something better off than something that I came into. Like I want to be able to be a part in bettering that community or like helping people and like just being present, you know?
I mean, that's kind of like I feel like the key to what's happening now is we need to be doing shit that's really going to put the next generation in a good place. Because if you look right now, all the OGs, not everyone, I'm not gonna say all of them, but a lot of the OGs who are doing this, who just don't give a fuck, literally, we have to pay for it now. You know what I mean? So the best thing we can do is not fuck up our habits. We lead by good habits, and we get ready to pass that down to the next generation. Because as much as there are people stuck in their old ways, there's still constantly there's still people constantly coming in, setting, like wanting to learn by new example. You know what I mean?
And there's always going to be new people too. And like my take is like, bro, I don't want any drama. Like this is something that I enjoy, and I just want to be able to come in here and enjoy this. So like, I'm not out here to say like, oh, that's not how you keep them, or like this information's wrong. Like, don't listen to that person. Like, do your own thing. Like, this is just us, like how we keep them. And like, even our care sheet, dude, it's just like, here's the requirements, and like how you meet that is like up to you essentially.
Right.
because you have to be your own keeper at the end of the day. I can't go home with you
So let me ask you this, Bubba.
for free.
Fuck, dude. You got to feed me first. At least.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
don't take much. I mean, it does actually. I eat a lot, but let me ask you this, man. I mean, in a place like in a place like the industry that we're in right now, for anyone coming into this looking to be, I don't know, not popular, but people want to fit in, right? And people have a hard time fitting in. What did you do really to kind of build relationships that you have now? Like, for instance, people like Alex, people like Mason, people like myself. What was it that you felt that was important to establish those kind of relationships? And while you're talking, I'm gonna take this. Yeah. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, you hear a lot of there's a lot of noise going on, and there is forever going to be that noise too. So you have to figure out what you want to do and what it means to you. And if it's something that truly makes you happy, like she found out, like breeding snakes, that was something that she enjoyed too. I was never going to be able to force that on her, and that's not like who I am. But I don't know, like you just have to go after what you like. And if this is something you really enjoy, like just have fun in it. And like low key, I don't like posting on social media, but like taking pictures, I really like displaying the animals in a way that shows the beauty that I see. And like, that's cool to me. And like something else could be cool to you too. Like the reels, like some of that's funny. And like, I like making funny reels too. Or like, I love how, Go Get It Genetics, when Bubba said trapping is a sport and so is table tennis, I really mean that, because now with my pacemaker, I'm kind of limited. So I can't play like regular tennis, but I can definitely do one of these. But there's so many good people in the hobby, and there's always going to be kind of negative Nancy's, if you will, or negatives, and you can always see the cup half full. But if it's something you enjoy, kind of like brush that off and just kind of move forward. And dude, I don't know, it kind of gets you, like stuff falls in your lap essentially.
And I think mostly like the biggest thing that like really sets, like not like just like you, but like our friends, like especially Alex, like being like truly yourself and being authentic is like, it makes people gravitate towards you more. Like you'll see a lot of people that like it's kind of hard to talk to them, or you're not really sure what's going on with them. But I think those people that are really doing what they authentically want to do, and kind of not caring too much about others, and just as in like, others' opinions of themselves, and just making sure what they're doing is on the right track.
Yeah,
I think that
at
kind
the end of the
shows
day,
your
like
character.
your character is like who you want to be. And like, that's unquestionable to you. And it shouldn't have like an outward sway by anybody else's opinion. And you should just be vibing, right?
I mean, it's kind of like the same, like, it's a good example is this, like, Lexi, you don't like thirsty men, right? Like, it's not attractive. Any man who's just like very like.
But I'm always thirsty.
Yeah, but we're not talking about you. You got this one. But I'm saying though, I mean, it's just not attractive when you see something, like when you see someone want something so overbearing. It's just kind of just like, yo, like, don't care as much, and this shit naturally happens, type of thing, right? And I feel like any guy who knows how to get a girl just doesn't care so much on trying to impress a girl. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking be you, because girls tend to like guys for their goofiness or like their cuteness, or I got goofiness and cuteness.
You did point to me.
What I'm saying is that there's certain things in life where if you just don't care and let that shit be, it helps you. You know what I mean? Like, not overthinking a pairing, not wanting so many followers, not wanting, like, just chill, like, just fucking chill.
That shit's cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, followers and like the support, like that shit's real. But like at the end of the day, like those reels too that like blow everybody up, and like you see those numbers too. Like, I don't know, like I still get geeked out over like those 10 people that watch lives or that come over and comment to like YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. It's cool to me that people are excited about like anything that we do. And I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing, like, dude, I got animals to feed, Like,
touche.
I don't have time to worry about this or that, It's just straightforward.
So Lexi, I'm curious. I feel like every guy is lucky to have like that significant other to help him back him up. But like, you're really into this too, Like, you're not just like, a girlfriend who's just like, oh, like he's doing his thing. You're doing your thing too, which also relates to reptiles and whatnot, right?
I mean, not my personal career, no, but I mean,
look at
I've
that.
kind of made this like my second career with him.
Yeah, but I'm
So-
saying that you have your own projects going on.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You got your own things going on that
Slowly
contributes
starting.
to Bubba's Living Emporium, like
Yeah.
right, like the
Oh, yeah.
Rosy Bows, is it?
The hognose.
Hognose, right,
And
right,
then
okay.
we started with crested geckos and gargoyles as well.
So like Racadactylus, yeah.
The thing was, I never actually have ever kept a reptile before I met him, and he
Really?
and he had sold quite a bit of his
Props to her
collection.
because she's doing it right, too, bro.
Yeah, and he sold quite a bit of his collection, and I was like, you know what, like that makes you happy, like let's get back into it.
It's life,
And I
so,
was-
you know.
I was kind of like, oh, reptiles. I was like, I don't know, but like
And how long ago
as-
was this?
like over 2 years ago
Okay.
when we started dating and everything, and he showed me like slowly and taking me to the reptile shows was like really cool, and I think
So
I
you
just
molded her.
yeah no
Well, because
like,
to me,
I
like,
slowly
grew up
fell in love
this,
with
dude.
it.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
to me, it's a different life, and like it's different, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to explain to people that like aren't in this.
I mean, you really can't explain. Like, you either
Yeah.
know or you don't know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like you know, obviously, because
I
you're
felt a little kind of like separated when I kind of was just like, oh, okay, this
Helping
is
him.
on
something
the
he
outsider
does.
looking in.
I
you know,
help him a little
As soon
bit,
as you step into the box, you're like,
Like,
oh, I get it.
everything, and like he was super happy. Like the first show that I ever did with him, like I was man in the booth the whole time. I was talking to people, and like the thing was like, obviously I don't know everything, but through like just listening with like him and like the people around, like I gained more and more knowledge, and then he even like pushed me like really well. Like I like how he got me into everything, because I would tell him like I was super interested like in the hog noses and stuff like that, and he's like, all right, well, I'm not gonna tell you all the stuff I know, but I want you to look it up. I want you to gain that knowledge, and then I'll help you as well, but I want you to be that expert. He made
Right.
me do all that hard work so I can kind of create my projects, which was really nice.
Paid the way for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And started off like her with like babies too,
Yeah.
like a pair of babies. So like it's different, like raising something up versus like what you
versus
buy.
buying something that you can breed right away. Like, and especially like with the projects I want, like it'd be nice to put the money in and just kind of start out pretty high, but like realistically, it's kind of nice to learn and kind of see how these animals go with like breeding as well, and like their lifespan, just so I can make what I want.
So what do you feel like it was that really made you the connection? Was it being at a show? Like, I mean, because for me, like for Lily, right? Like she always the first couple of shows I did on my own, she's like, "Fool, what are you really doing?" Like, because I like the whole day would go by, and she's
Yeah.
like, "What have you been doing all day?" And I'm like, "Dude, I
Those
been
shows last a
nonstop." Like,
while,
Yeah.
man.
I'm like saying hi
Yeah.
to people, fucking making moves, and she's like, "Calm down." And then now that I've taken her to a show, she fucking gets it, and like, you know what I mean. And so,
Yeah.
what was it for you? You feel like, I mean, what really made like the connection in your brain? Like, okay, I want to do my own shit. This is sick.
Honestly, I think the shows really did help. I won't lie. Like, especially that first show in Del
You're in
Mar.
it for the money.
No.
Guilty.
Like, no. Like talking to all of the people there, and then you did get a lot of kids and like families and stuff like that. And honestly, it felt really cool to be able to like explain like a lot of the stuff to them. And like, obviously, I'm not as well versed as he is, but I'm
Well,
learning as well. And it's kind of
At
cool
that
to
show too, like
Yeah.
you stepped up. She's underselling it. Like, so since I've been on disability, like this shit's hard, and like sometimes like my heart drops to like 30 to 34 beats, and like I'll have to take a chill pill, and it's hard for me to do these shows.
Literally take a chill pill, like
Dude, like some yeah, I wish, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, but sometimes like it gets so bad where like it doesn't get any better, where I have to sleep, and like it's just like that show was a lot, bro. In Del Mar, it was like 3 days, and like we had to trek.
You did that show?
It was
Yes,
the first
bro.
show in like
We were in the
in a
front.
while.
Yes.
Yeah.
It took like
We
4
were
hours
out-
for people to get in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were outside.
Dude,
in
what
the
a
front.
shit show that thing was. But it was packed.
Yes.
It was.
Like I opened up, dude.
We
Luckily,
were helping them set up and tear down, and then he was like, "Hey, did you leave early?" We left like 10
who
minutes
threw that
early.
show? What was it?
I think his
Reptile
name's
Nation?
Ryan.
Reptile
Um,
Nation, or like what was the?
Oh,
what
yeah.
was it? The company who threw it?
I think it was
Reptilian
Reptile.
Nation.
I think
Reptilian
so.
Nation, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
That was a shit. I'm not gonna lie, that was a shit show, man. I mean, like just because I don't think they understood how many people
How
were gonna
many
it's
show
people
okay,
up.
but like
Yeah.
there was like
But I
some
mean,
really
there's
messed up
I
stuff
know a lot of
going
people sold out. Like my
Yeah.
homegirl shared Sunset Cliffs Exotics, I think, but
Yeah.
she's the one that like because I looked at this line, I was like, I'm not weighing in this shit, and like as soon as
Yeah.
you got in there, it was like
No,
shoulder
yeah.
to shoulder.
on. Well, because
Yeah.
everybody got Biden bucks that weekend too, so like
Oh.
Everyone
Dude,
got the stimulus.
we took like 10 people's checks.
That's so true. That was when they were coming in hot back then.
Yeah.
So
Remember those days?
yeah, good on, I mean, no, actually, I don't. I made too much money, so I couldn't.
Yeah, you're like, actually, no.
But to kind of capitalize on that, as far as shows currently, I mean, what's your game plan? Obviously, no shows out of California this year, but I mean, is the goal is to start traveling to Arlington's and doing NARBC shows, or what's your game plan overall with the shows?
Well, like low-key, we don't go to the shows to like sell, and like it's always been to like hang out with people, and like doing our own booths is fun. But like now this year, especially when we're trying to like potentially move and stuff, I just really want to go to the shows where I'm going to just go like attend and hang out with people instead of like doing that, because realistically, I don't know how, and it's pretty like I feel blessed, and like it's crazy to me, but like everything sells out like real quick.
Oh, as far as vending, your production.
Yeah, because I've always sold on like Facebook.
It's not a bad problem to have.
I grew up on like Facebook, Fauna, and like.
So that's where you post all your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like.
Honestly, people will just reach
Instagram,
out as well.
Or they're like, "Hey, I need this."
So do you legit have waiting lists?
I try not to do the waiting list because I don't like calling up people and then they're like, "Oh, I don't want one." Then it's like
because the ones on your bumper the most are the ones that ghost you whenever it comes time.
And then like most of the time, like I just send out like a APB where like, "Hey, does anybody need this?" And then they're like, "Cool." But I mean, like I work with only like 40 leopard geckos, like grow outs and everything too. So like it's very refined. So I mean, like I usually sell out pretty quick, and we're trying to be able to do more, but I'm not trying to sacrifice what I'm capable of doing with the animals first,
Right. So Lexi, real quick, I want to revert back to you real quick. With everything, you obviously have a 9-to-5 job, you said, right? So this is obviously just a hobby to you for right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is your goals? Like, let's just say in the next 5 years, if everything seems to work out for you.
I honestly would like to get into snakes a lot more. Like,
ball pythons.
That's more him.
Oh, really?
That's
okay, tell me more. I want to. So, what snakes would you like to get into?
Those Boigas.
Boigas. It's all right.
Yeah.
I can't say it either.
I can't say
Boiga.
it. But when you showed me those, I was like, I swear that the whole next week I was like, oh, those one snakes.
She saw some
I was like, I like
no.
these. Like, man, yours are like so beautiful, and I was like, these are really nice.
Yeah.
I was like, they're really cool. I love their like head structure and stuff like that, and even having some like really cool like like vipers and stuff would be really nice to have.
I mean, like I miss having a venomous snake. Like I'm like a legit. Like I had a rattlesnake, right? But I just couldn't keep my hands off of it.
Yeah.
But that being, but I also had mangroves, right? And I had mangroves. Boiga species in general. I just love Boiga species, but I had a group of like 6 mangroves, and 4 of them were adult size. They were huge. And I took a big bite from a female one time, and I had a tooth stuck in this thumb for like 6 months. Yeah. But like, there's something so amazing about a Boiga species, dude, because I can tell you right now, they are tree climbers. Mm-hmm. They go at night, they turn on, like they're just everywhere. Yeah. And just the way they are, like they're the closest thing you could get to a venomous snake without it being like
crazy.
Could kill you. Don't get me wrong. There's some bites documented that fuck some people up. Luckily, I didn't get it. Yeah, some people like their skin gets all purple and like it's bubbly and shit. Yeah. Luckily, I don't think it got envenomated. I had a ripper off my thumb, but like I think I got lucky. But still, like after that, I was like I let him go.
Step back.
Yeah. But I could tell you right now, I kept the green ones because the green ones their temperament is a lot more chilled than the black and yellow ones. I don't know. I just couldn't just not have Boigas. You know what I mean? So if I were to pick the green ones, the green ones, the Cyaneas are my favorite. But also the whatchamacallit, my mind's the Divergence, Boiga Divergence.
Those are like the bluer ones.
They're like blue, huge. You've never seen them before?
I think I've seen.
Okay, right. You want to see them real quick?
Yeah.
All right. So
I want to get into more snakes. The only thing is like I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
Well, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of like how that's kind of the example he sets for you. You know what I mean? It's also, but also to capitalize on what you just said about doing it right. The best experience, especially for you at this point, because you have the overall experience on how to keep something alive. Yeah. You got to just fucking get your feet wet. And the best experience or the best teacher is experience. You know what I mean? But let me show you my boy Socrates. Everything he keeps is dreamy. It's ridiculous. But he also has some Boega species, one of them being divergence. He also had Lacefa something. I can't say it right, but he just actually got rid of those. But let me see where's divergence at. Oh, so this is the one Boega species that he just got rid of. Can you pronounce that? Laphicius. I can't pronounce this one, dude. It's Laphicius sextiata or something crazy. But this is one Boega species. I can't say it, but this is awesome. And then let me show you the divergence. I know that's not the divergence. I'll show you the divergence. This is divergence. Oh wow, my God.
Yeah.
Check this thing out. This is imported from Russia. Some guy in Russia bred these. But look how blue like this thing's getting.
Oh, like Ukraine.
Yep. Pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm pretty content with the green, the cynias, but I could tell you this is a huge goal of mine.
Dude, their heads are crazy.
Yeah, to get a pair. Look at that. Is it amazing or what?
That's sick.
So that's cool that you actually said Boegas. I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, I didn't even know about the Boegas until I saw yours, and I was just like, honestly, from like just looking at them and like how. Honestly, yours are really kind of tame and nice when I was holding it. And I was like, these are cool. Obviously, I know, like, you know, venomous snakes, they're not going to all be, like, chill. But I like working with animals, even especially, like, that have, like, bad names, like, and
like
showing
a chondro
people,
or
like,
an emerald, like ones that are, like you're not supposed to hold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
obviously, I'm not going to be a dummy and just get a venomous snake and be like, look at me holding this all the time, you know? But it's kind of cool, like them and how like temperamented they are.
Did you just shrink?
I did.
Yeah. Which is how I was like, bro.
Yeah, I thought it was the microdosing. I was like, what the fuck was that? That was awesome.
Somebody put something in my drink.
So, for instance, Lexi, at this point, I mean, if you were to get into that Boega species, I mean, you're doing everything in moderation, I feel like, which is smart, you know, because I feel like anyone would be wanting to bite more than they could chew, especially if they have a boyfriend who's already kind of killing in his own game and whatnot. But I feel like you're doing it right. I feel like you're just like easing into it. And even with easing it, you're still getting success. You got hognose clutches and shit like that. And you're still just taking your time doing it.
Oh yeah. Like I only have one other female that is waiting to lay, and then I'll have at least one more next season, so that'll be at least like 2 or 3 more pairs. But I'm not like
basically I'm a trap star.
No. But like obviously all the babies I know I can't keep, but I mean I love the hognoses so much, and I've grown to love like the snakes so much. I used to not hate snakes,
but just
like
be into them.
Yeah, I used to be just like, ooh,
just
snakes.
rather
like I'd be like, oh, cool from afar. But
snake shovel.
Yeah, and then actually I think like I saw some hognoses, and then I think holding some ball pythons, I kind of did get a little bit more adjusted to snakes.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you right now, like I feel like the leopard gecko is like how the ball python is the foundation for all the other snake projects out there. Like leopard gecko and like the bearded dragons too, but like those are like America's favorite pet. Like that's like your go-to when you get your first reptile. It's either a ball python, a leopard gecko, a bearded dragon, you know, something that's easy to keep. But those are what we need. Like those are, because I mean, listen, as much as this is awesome, not everyone's meant to keep shit like this. Some people just don't get it. You know what I mean? But there are simpler stuff people could do to make their lives easier. And you know, I'm just saying, like, I know at the end of the day, what you guys keep isn't like, you know, it's not just easy to do. No, I mean, it's strategic what you guys do. But for somebody who just wants to keep like 1 or 2 of it, you're not going to beat yourself up. You're like, you're not doing too much just by getting into a ball python, leopard gecko, or like, you know, typical just lizard species, you know?
Yeah, because realistically, like, we both want to keep just working on the side and like doing this, like, because I like working, dude. Like before doing all this, like I took a break. I was in aerospace and like just breaking my body, like even after like this. And dude, now I'm like working with lizards. Like, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, especially at the shows, is like how everyone comes up and like, especially like those families that are just coming because it's like a cool experience. They're like, oh, a snake. And then it's really nice to have like my snake who's very well adjusted and super sweet. And then people are like, oh, I don't want to hold a snake, I'm too scared. But like showing them like the nicer side of like the snake species. And
I mean, I think one
You
thing
know.
I was happy, like I've as this was growing, I started kicking it with less and less people. But like, let's just say 3 years ago, I would have a lot of my old friends come over and hang out, and you don't understand how much I would have, like at least 1 or 2 people, like, you have snakes. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You have snakes! You have snakes! Oh my god! And I'm like, yo, just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Trust me, give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And like some people would have to like shove them
Like,
slowly in and like making a fucking big scene.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing too.
And it's kinda like,
like-
but it's kind of like, it's like the typical, like, you've done this
Yeah.
before, you think it's cute, I
Yeah.
get it, you're scared, but you're really not scared.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. When
Look
they
at-
look,
it's
when they look, they
just
go, oh
squirming
my
around.
god, you know. And it is like, you know, 8 out of 10 times it is a girl who's like, eek,
Yeah.
I'm scared. You know what I mean? But still, when they leave the trap after 5 minutes, they're just like, oh my god, that was amazing.
They're like on Morph Market.
or just like all up on my Instagram. You know what I mean? But I ain't selling you shit. No, but I mean, it just doesn't take, like, when you are doing stuff to, because a lot of people also think like, oh my god, you keep snakes, you're probably like a hillbilly, or you're probably like gross. Like,
yeah,
gross.
that was always weird to me. Like,
Like,
where did
even-
those
even-
people live?
Right? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what do you keep? Like, at first thing
Like-
people think, what do you keep these at? Like, do you
You're-
sleep with them?
Is
Or yeah, sleep with them.
it in your room?
Is
To
it-
me, like their shelter. Like, have you been outside?
Although I
around.
have fallen asleep on this floor, microdosed out of my mind. But I mean, I don't sleep. I don't cuddle with them. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I just feel like when you're doing something right with these animals, it brings the right kind of attention, you know? And when you're doing something wrong, it's going to bring the wrong kind of attention.
You
And
get a mix of both too. Like,
because
with
that's
good
just the way it is.
attention. Yeah.
Everything has to have the mix of both. But we are in a position where we need the better half of it more than the worst half.
You always have to see the cup like half full, you know?
Yeah, that's
and
the
like
thing.
you just gotta bloop, bloop, keep moving.
Now, my biggest thing is like, what's your guys' thing on, you know, stuff being like I feel like certain content being put out there has its levels, right? But I mean, where do you draw the line on certain animal content? Like, what is some stuff you feel like that's like, I feel like that's a little too much?
Well,
And it could be anything from like, you know, working with an alligator or a venomous snake. Or I mean, do you feel like there's certain content that is just kind of like not kind of leading by the right example?
well, stuff like where it goes too far is like that croc monitor at Pomona. Like,
Oh, that was not cool.
yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. Like, I watched that podcast that you guys did with Steven too, and
that was
and,
such a fucking liability, bro.
But like, so we helped our buddy set up that booth where that croc monitor was going to be, and like, I had no like idea that was going to happen either, and like, it was just like, bro, there's kids and like stuff like that too, and like a croc monitor too. It's just like,
That thing gets spooked, someone's getting fucked up.
yeah, and where the animal is maybe like at risk for anything, like that's where you draw the line. Is you should be like doing content that helps and like pushes like stuff in a right way, especially right now where everything's so scrutinized.
And eyes are all on us right now. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100%. Like, why are you gonna be like doing some
Yeah.
stupid shit? Like, really?
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Leslie?
I mean, I understand like people showing like how dangerous some like animals can be. I just don't like, you know, how they go to the extremes sometimes, and it can put like a bad like image on some of these, you know, reptiles that we keep, because it really does kind of boil down to like when people outside of the reptile community are seeing like all of these people get bit constantly, and like, you know, like that are going viral, like, you know, we just want to make sure.
Oh my god! Hey, high
Alex.
key, I was like, yo, when
Bro, this.
that was it. Yeah, you know what's funny? I was supposed to send this girl mangrove. I'm glad I didn't. Because
Well,
I feel like
now she's in the hospital because she's choking on all the hairs.
Are you sure? Because
No, I
No,
made
that's
that up.
that's
But,
not true.
like,
That fool, I think that's Alex being dramatic
Yeah.
because he said that too. He's like, now she's in the hospital. I checked. I was like, well, she just posted a story. She's fine right now. And I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, who did she learn that from? I don't even want to say the name who she learned it from, but she learned it from somebody who's done it themselves.
I don't
And
know.
just not leading by a good example. Like, well, you don't put a tarantula in your mouth.
And
I
also,
don't fuck
people have
Lucy
seen
do it.
eight-legged freaks too. Like, that's where we're at with spiders and like tarantulas and stuff.
Anyways, shout out to Alex. Thanks for tuning in and dropping that comment. She had hair in her. But I mean, at the end of the day, bro, I mean, there's just certain things that, like, you know, obviously if you do something and it's trendy or you think it's trendy, someone else is going to want to copy it.
Yeah.
And one thing that I can't stand are all these wannabe Steve Irwin Wrangler motherfuckers going around like they're fucking corny.
Look at this
You could
snake.
tell, yeah, you could tell it's set up. You could tell, like, it's just so bad, bro. And that is probably the worst content for this industry
Yeah.
because it's attracting the wrong kind of people who think that these guys are like heroes. They're like, wow, you're so brave.
Yeah.
And really, you're the biggest fucking cornball that's even involved with these animals. And there's too many to name. There's a lot of them. That's the thing. Like, I literally fucking block these fools because I don't even want to see them on my feed.
Yeah.
Like them fucking getting bit in the face, like purposely getting harmed by the animal.
Yeah,
You know
when
what
I
mean?
like first like was thinking about getting pectinata in, and I was telling some of my friends like, hey, like I'm getting this stuff in, and they were like, oh my gosh, have you seen this video? And then they sent me a video of like so and so getting bit by a freaking pied pectinata, and he's all bloody and like flaunting it like on Instagram and stuff. But like, dude, bro, our pectinatas are like the sweetest freaking animals. They're puppy dogs too. And like Haru, like he's cool like at the shows too. Like we'll bring him sometimes when we vend, and he stays like behind the booth, and sometimes we'll kind of do like educational walks too. He's dude, it's awesome.
I mean, I just feel like the having a croc just out in the open at a fucking show. Just these are just small things. If we could just eliminate these kind of risks that we're putting out, because like I said, man, what if that croc got a hold of a kid?
Yeah.
Like,
Because there are educational animals that you could do,
but
like
and
that
there's
stuff
time and a
with, but,
place
like,
for it. But
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
just this
also
random
that.
person going to booth with a croc monitor on your shoulder, and this is
Yeah,
a
and
fucking
those people who-
full-grown croc
And
monitor.
you don't know
there,
what kid's
there is
gonna try
rules for
reaching
the
out
shows.
to it,
The
you know?
shows have specific rules where no outside people are allowed to bring animals in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard to keep on track of that stuff, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Well, listen, lead by example. That's all I got to say. That being said, let me ask you this. Monitor wise, I know we talked a lot about the leopard geckos, the Abronia. What else? Don't you have bigger, like, don't you have iguanas or another kind
So
of lizard
yeah, I have
species?
the banana pectinata. Those are going to be like those big yellow looking, like almost
They're on your
Godzilla
page. They're on your
creatures.
page, I'm
Yeah.
assuming, right?
Yes, sir. He's in our logo too.
I
I fell in love with him,
dude. What? Listen,
bro.
what a logo.
And he's still a baby
Where's
too.
it at? I want to look at this.
So-
That's Steve Morris. Hi, Steve. No, this one right here. I love this, bro.
So,
Did you do this one too?
Partially. One of our friends pretty much did the whole thing, and I went and adjusted it. Like I think
Added
I
like
have.
accents.
It's
and stuff.
Noah
Noah
Bound
Bounds.
Studios,
Okay.
but he's really cool. It's just like stuff like that. I like to make like little stickers and stuff. But dude, he's
Sweet.
a centerpiece in like our collection. Like here, there's like a little
Is that one right there?
picture of her. Yeah,
It's
showing
a
him.
video with.
Oh, is this a video you holding one? Or are you doing like some? Is this
Oh,
is
he's
this at a
feeding
show?
Him.
Oh,
no,
cool.
it's at
This is
home
him.
too, and then
Oh, this
Okay.
is
the
cool.
Cool.
shots
that
of me
picture.
are at the show. But
Is that how many of these do you have? Just one?
So that's our main
Oh
male,
my
and
God,
he's
it's so
about
cute.
2 years old. And then we have a 2.5-year-old female, and then a yearling male that's unrelated.
So spiny tailed iguana is what this
yeah,
is like
Mexican
for-
spiny tail
Okay.
iguana.
Yeah, let me
there's
see.
more pictures
And
too
hogs.
somewhere down.
Let's see. Why do you have the rock here? I'm confused.
Some guy asked
It
us
was
to
an
do
intro
a,
to
a shedding
the
remix.
video.
And can you smell? Come on, you got to throw the rock on there.
Yeah,
Somebody asked.
rock is hard. Literally. Oh my god. Oh, here's one. Dude, wow, this is so sick.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Temperamen's good, obviously, from
Oh,
what I can
bro,
see.
like he
So
loves
sweet.
head scratches. Like he does soaks too. So like I spend a lot of time with him, like every day.
Now, is the diet primarily lettuce, fruit?
So
or
they're
like, what do
actually
they
one of the
eat?
iguanas that can handle protein and love protein. So it's about like a 60-40 mix, and like it's like greens every day, bro. And like I love giving like special stuff. So like I'll go to like these Asian markets and buy like, what is that fruit? And then toss it to them too.
And they
or,
just
like dried
munch
fruits
it.
and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And even like gut loading your animals, like that's super important too, to bring out natural colors. And speaking of like Abronia too, like they need that stuff where you see blue and Abronia compared to like green.
So a diet, so you feed this every day?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And is it vary? Like, does it like fruit one day, lettuce one day, or is it just both every day?
So I have like kind of like a mix of greens, like kind of like a staple of greens that kind of rotate out, and I just have like make sure it's a variety.
Do you
And
do
then on
organic
top of that-
only?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And do you feel like that's important?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of like the other stuffs can be treated with pesticides, and like I don't want to go in the grocery store
Like
and like look and see if it is or not.
If
I'd
I
rather
don't,
shop
if I don't
organic.
do organic romaine lettuce for the grasshoppers, they die.
Oh yeah, no.
It has to be organic, or
Yeah,
they
I
ask
mean,
to get
like,
murdered.
because it's pesticide.
So
yeah.
that should tell you why you got
Right.
Like,
organic.
and also why
Yeah,
are you eating that
exactly.
stuff too?
Yeah, because I was just raised off whole milk.
No, me
and
too. I
fucking
was drinking
iceberg
out of-
lettuce and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I
drinking
mean?
out of the hose in the front yard.
Oh man,
Me
do you remember how some of those days that the hose water would be so cold it would just smack perfectly.
Yeah.
Like I had a certain hose,
especially
that
when you were
good.
like super covered in
That
sweat,
sounded
and you're
weird.
just like,
dude, man. And I also had certain neighbors where like I would fuck with their tap water. Like they had really good tap. Like I would,
what are you doing in my yard? It's 2 a.m.
you got that good hose.
It's crisp right now.
Dude, I mean, I do miss that shit. I mean, I feel like not enough kids nowadays drink out of the hose water. I feel like that's the problem.
Yeah, and they're eating too much paint chips.
Way too many paint chips. Dude, I mean,
Generation Z.
let me ask you this. And you know, this is just because recently I had to like revisit a little bit of bullying that's been happening. Like I had somebody trying to troll me, unfortunately, which is just comes with it. But have you had to deal with any kind of bullying yourself, or have you had to like vert your way out of certain groups of people, or how to delegate that yet being in this hobby?
Yeah, all the time. Like honestly, and like even like some friends too. Like you'll realize that some people are in it for
Look who it is.
Reasons.
The
Mason Barnes.
Mason
What's
Barnes.
up, gentlemen?
Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But we had Mason Johnson. We're like, where's Mason Barnes? There's Mason Barnes.
So he said he's related.
Are they really related?
No, I'm just kidding. He said
Fucker.
I'm not.
But anyways, but yeah, I mean, kind of tell me more. Like, what I want to know is like, what is your recommendation for anyone out there who is like a part of, I guess, a group and just doesn't feel like they fit in? Like, what do you recommend to that person, or how do you delegate yourself not being a part of something you don't want to be a part of? But like, if it's one of your friends, you know what I mean? If it's like not that easy.
So you really have to be comfortable with yourself, and like what do you want out of something, and like you have to be comfortable like telling people like no sometimes too, or like,
dude, right? Don't be such a pushover.
Yeah,
I don't want to say I hate yes people, because my boy Miguel is a big time yes guy, and I love
like
him.
also
He's a good
yes
positive yes guy.
Yeah.
But I don't like people who get like taken advantage of and who don't speak up. And I feel like that happens too much in this industry, where people will get fucking raped by another big breeder, and they're just like, well, whatever, it just happens.
So with that too, like, because that's happened to like us like multiple times, and like the thing is like, why feed into that? Like, why? Like, I know what happened. I know we're good. Like, I took my lesson from that.
Karma's real.
But like, yeah, like I can't spend my time like realistically. This is a hobby of mine. This is something that I love. I have real life shit going on too,
right?
And like, why like feed into any of that stuff? So if like I'm trying to just like do this because like I enjoy it.
And I feel like if you're somebody who's like, you know, because I mean, dude, peace should be your aim. I mean, peace and work with animals is what.
I don't want anxiety. Like I lose sleep. Like this.
I'm already going
I'm
through
like,
enough.
Bro, I have like extra palpitations, and I'm like, bro, like this person's mad at me, and I'm like, fucking like. It will get me down because like, dude, I'm a family person, and like I try to treat everybody as family, and I try to be cool with everybody, and I love everybody like low key, and like I love being like a people person. But
I think with me, dude, is like I come from a crazy background where I don't tolerate disrespect, no matter who you are, no matter what it is, because whenever I disrespect or whenever disrespect happened, me growing up, it got dealt with, and we're in an era where that can't. People are just so comfortable saying what they want to say because they're in their mom's basement or they're fucking in a different country and they know they can't get touched. But at the end of the day, like, that's not really an excuse to be a piece of shit and say certain things to people, because there are people in here. Like for me, I do feel like certain things do need to be addressed because I have a platform and I have a podcast, and I'm not trying to make things about drama, but I am sick of certain things being brushed under the rug. I feel like at some point, some things need to be addressed. But I feel like what's important, like what you just said, is like you're not in this for drama. Not that I'm in this for drama, but this is a podcast. You know what I mean?
And I'm trying to like.
But you're trying to stay.
Life.
You're trying to stay focused on what matters to you. You know what I mean? And what makes you happy is what matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like most interactions, like I was like trying to be friends with these people, and like what sucks too is like I lost because like. I felt like we were friends, and like I lost a friend too. Like, so like that sucks. And like dealing with that, like I don't want to worry about like anything else too, essentially, if that makes sense.
Right. All right. So I do have to ask this. What would kind of be something you would like to see more out of people working with leopard geckos? I mean, obviously that's like a passion of yours now, but like, you know, a lot about that department than I do. So what is it that you feel like could be more utilized with leopard geckos right now?
Just like an understanding of like what we're doing, because like we're playing with genetics, and like genetics can get very complex. And even though they're like a very easy animal to keep and breed, at the same time you should do it the right way and keep animals like in a way that they're thriving and not just surviving and their basic requirements too. Like we're ever expanding and like we're always like finding out new stuff and new technology or like new supplementation and stuff. So everything's always going to be growing and you just kind of have to keep up with that, you know. And like there are things like with like leopard geckos and bearded dragons where there's a select population that they can't get any more wild types in, where there's pretty much no new blood in circulation. And we have these solid genetics, and sometimes they can get to inbred where these animals have ailments to either the structure of their body physically or to the actual like genetics down to it, you know.
And I have to ask you this. Oh my God, I don't know.
Did you do a brain fart?
Yeah, it was something relative to following, and it just went down to shit. Way to go, Lexi. Let me ask you guys this: how are you sleeping at night? I'm just
Bro.
Okay. How about
hard.
Serious though? And I am serious. Let's talk about your. I don't want to call it condition, but you do have a heart murmur, right? And
Yeah.
when did this all come? Like, when did this happen? Is it recent or?
So, yeah, growing up, I was always in sports, and I've had like 8 concussions and then a brain hemorrhage, and that brain hemorrhage happened in 2017. I was on the job out in Compton, actually, of all places. Good place to be in. What's that?
It's Bompton.
Yeah, pretty much fainted, like had an episode, fainted, hit my head on the concrete, ended up in the hospital right there.
Jeez.
And like I don't really remember too much, but like the second night in the hospital, my heart stopped working like 4 times throughout the night. So the next day they were like, we need to like put a pacemaker in him because like his heart's not working properly. Like the lower half of my heart.
And the pacemaker keeps the ticker going, basically.
Yeah, it's like a battery like in my chest.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I gotta start too, but I don't have a pacemaker.
It's like, I've just been shot 30 times.
I want to see that again. Let me see.
Yeah,
It's like a battery, dude.
And how does it feel? Does it hurt? Like, does it ever get you? Like, are you ever like?
So I sleep
fuck.
on my
Yeah.
freaking stomach, bro. So like I have to like prop up a thing, and it's been like since 2017, so like 5 years now.
So do you have to? I mean, you were
I've
talking
been
about
through
earlier.
like 3 of them. They
So-
don't like work. That's the thing,
So I'm sure watching your anxiety is important. Like, you can't freak out, really. I'm assuming, or
bro.
what?
And then like the drama feeds into that shit. So like I try to really stay away from that.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, have you had episodes where like you had to like
Oh yeah. So
calm
like,
down and sit down because it hurts, or
well,
like?
if I stay too much, I have along with the pacemaker, I have neurocardiogenic syncope and vasovagal syncope, which basically I have like too much adrenaline, I'll faint. If I have too less, I'll faint.
So you have
and
to
then
have some
so-
sort of happy medium all the
Yeah,
time.
but like they don't know what's going on or like what's happening. So yeah, Iron Man for life. It's basically what's happening. And
so hard. And you're
Yeah.
and
It could
you're
be
his chick.
it could be scary
But yeah,
sometimes.
she's
I've woken up
holding
to
it
him
down,
like
bro.
on the floor, like
And you're like,
And
what's
I'm-
and he's
yeah.
like, Iron
trying
Man's
to, like,
tweaking
go
out
to
and
work.
shit. Like, he's like
Well, like,
computing wrong.
yeah.
since 2017, like I was still in aerospace and like I was driving at that time. And then when I came back in, I started working on machines because I was like, respectfully, this job wanted me to go back to work right away. And I was like, I can barely like do this. Like I could barely like move this arm. Like I was supposed to move that arm for so long because I have like those leads going into my heart. And then like I went on to like manual machines and I was like physically working. And then I went from Anaheim out to Moreno Valley and I started working in Paris where I was working on a straight and cut operations where like these big coils, dude. I'm kind of like a skinny guy, and especially like even after this, like dude, I lost like all my muscle mass and like everything.
Damn.
Like just kind of I was bedridden for like a month because I had the
And this was how long
hemorrhage
ago?
too. 2017.
And this is right
The end
before
of
you met her.
2017.
Right after you. This is right before
Like
you met
2
her.
years.
Right
I
2
met
years
him in
before.
2020.
2017.
So, okay, let me ask you this, because life, here's another thing that people need to understand, and not everyone's ready for this, right? Because you never know when life's going to hit you with something like this. But when you have all these animals, and like when you had animals, like at that point, did it kind of affect your collection at all when you were going through that? Were you able to have help? Like, what did you do at that time to kind of like?
it was just me, and I was very small. Like that was still where I was keeping it very small because I was
Okay.
like going to work. Like I was working like 60 hours a week, so I really only had like maybe 2 racks and a hatchling rack.
Right.
So like yeah, it was just me staying on top of that. And then like when I couldn't, I like was like, hey buddy, like do you want like free animals, stuff like that.
Right.
So that's always like me getting out. Like I've had to do that 2 or 3 times just because like life situations too. Like living with my dad or living with my mom, or like we're moving this way. Like we were born here, but we moved out to Illinois, and then we came back like 3 or 4 years later after that too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Lexi, you've always been on the West Coast, right? Or where were you?
I've always stayed in like Temecula area my whole life.
You West
Yeah.
Coast Cali. You're a
So-
Cali girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so I mean, that being said, can you really see yourself leaving Cali? Like, can you really? I mean, because I mean, we're looking for a house, obviously, right? And we could really live luxuriously in like in a different
yeah.
state. But dude, we have taco shops, best.
Yeah, no,
like,
I
we
know.
got it made. So I mean, but honestly, have you thought about like, can you really leave Cali?
Honestly, I would say yes. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say I don't have a bunch down here. I have my whole
Right,
kind of like
your
life
life.
down here.
Yeah.
You know, but I think, you know, even ever since I met him, I think kind of it's become like our life, and kind of I think whatever's gonna be like best for us is just basically what I want to put
That's
forth.
the move, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's like-
honestly, having a better house, even if it's out of state, I would much rather have like a nice house, you know, and enjoy my, you know, my future rather than just sticking in the past so much.
The
That
goal
makes
is always
sense,
to
yeah.
like move out of state, but like we didn't expect it to be so soon.
So,
I thought we were gonna get a house
happens.
like in California
And then leave.
and then like rent
Yeah.
that out, Airbnb type shit.
Yeah, and
like
then get a new house.
get like a ranch like when we were ready, take baby steps. But like now it's either down the street or like we might like
and you're far. And I
help
mean,
me with
how far out are you from actually moving? I mean, if it all
like
works
this year.
out.
This year,
Probably
so like
sure,
hatching
yeah.
season, dude. Like I want to
Right
make sure
after.
like my people get taken care of, but like hopefully some of these sales will be like the down payment for our house and stuff like that. And like
But
I'm
it's either
trying to get back to work like within the next week or two, so hopefully I can just
Yeah.
work and
it's
work
either
my way up.
down the street from where you're at now or Arizona though.
Yeah.
Those
and
are the two
Arizona
options.
was
Gotta be
never on
pretty
the map,
solid.
dude.
Yeah,
I was
never
always like
at
Idaho
all.
or like somewhere cold.
But that was like
Somewhere
years
cold.
down the line. But now it's kind of like either we are sticking around here or we really got to get everything together because
my
we're
mom's
moving
gonna call
to a
me
different
after.
state.
Okay, because Arizona is like the way I kind of see Arizona is why I would be down to move to Oregon. It's just one state over. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not
Yeah.
like you're across the country.
Exactly.
Even though like I have a lot of family in Pennsylvania and the East Coast, and it's so beautiful back there, dude. But they just have real fucking seasons, you know, like
Yeah.
real crazy.
Bro, they
cold.
got snow.
Yeah.
I like snow.
That's
Yeah.
the one thing I like about like being in California because it's never too excess
No,
of
you live in
something.
paradise.
You know what
There's
I
a
mean?
reason why it's expensive
Oh, yeah.
to live here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen,
Definitely.
Because of the government.
I have a wrap up question before we get into the hot seat questions. Okay, so.
Yes.
I'm curious, and you guys could both answer this, not at the same time, obviously, but for you, obviously being passionate about species you currently work with, but there's other stuff on the want list, there's other stuff on the like bucket list of species. What's your recommendation for anyone else there in the same shoes of you who want to get into another species? How do you recommend that transition? I mean, do you feel like if you have the money and space, go for it, or do you feel like you should do differently? Like, what would be your take on
Oh,
that?
my day and age, like now, like you just ask somebody, like see if it's in your wheelhouse too. And like obviously if you're gonna like seriously think about it and put the thought and effort there, like try it. And like it doesn't have to be for you. That's like the thing too. Like you may not enjoy it as much to where you want to like keep it like at that level or whatever. But like it's also a responsibility that you take on to make sure you find it a proper home elsewhere as well. So all in all, it's a big responsibility, and you have to make sure that you're prepared for that.
What do you think, Lexi?
I would say like obviously if you have the space and the money and everything, but also like making sure you know what you're getting into. You know, like some people do take in stuff and it is a lot of work, and sometimes that's okay. Like, you know, he said like making sure they're going back to a good home, but like the biggest thing is, you know, these animals aren't kind of like just puppies to where you can just kind of give them
Hand
some
them off,
food,
right.
you know, like play with them a little and that's it. Like some of
Not
them
as
really
heavy.
do need like specific care. And if you're not giving it to them, you know, these animals' lives are in your hands. So it's like, you know, making sure you're responsible enough to bring in this new species and make sure that you are prepared like mentally and, you know, like work wise as well.
100%. Well, this was a very player episode.
Yeah, it was
Good
cool, dude.
shit.
Thanks
That was
for having us
awesome,
on.
Lexi.
Thank
We ain't
you.
done yet. We got hot seat questions. Okay, so don't get too excited. Might hate me after these, so
My
Let's-
butt's warm.
let's see how these hot seat questions go. And then right after this, we're gonna tap into the Patreon Zoom session. So if you want to join the Zoom session, go down to the Patreon link, join the Patreon family right now, and then you can tap in with us right after this. But let's get these hot seat questions ready to rock and roll.
Da-na-na, da-na-na.
All right, you ready for this?
No.
And you guys have to answer at the same time, okay? Don't look at each other. Don't.
I'll just
Your
pinch
answer-
him when it's time to.
Yeah, your answer is not based off his. It's what you feel. You guys ready for this?
Okay.
All right, hot seat questions for Bubba living Emporium. Frozen thought or life?
Frozen thought.
Frozen dog.
A cut or no cut?
Depends.
Why are you
What
waiting,
is
Lexi?
I don't know.
You got it. Would you cut an egg or would you not cut an egg?
No.
No A cut. Okay. What about you?
I'm too.
What is
nervous.
it?
A cut, like
Well,
you know,
that's true.
anything, any kind of. It doesn't matter. Would you cut any?
I wouldn't cut hognose eggs. I wouldn't
Yeah.
cut leopard gecko eggs.
So you wouldn't cut a
I
ball
would
python egg.
cut possibly ball python eggs,
So you are a cutter,
but like I wouldn't pull them out of the eggs.
but you would still cut.
Maybe, but like
So
I don't know.
a
Can they
cutter,
not
no
go
cutter.
out it themselves?
No cutter.
I mean, sometimes I
These
want
are hot
to,
seat
but then
questions.
I'm
The
just
seat's
like,
getting
ah.
cold. The seat's
Yeah.
getting cold.
It's getting really cold. Red Condro Neo or yellow Condro Neo?
Red.
Yellow.
Oh,
Ooh, wow. Pre first
You didn't
shed
come
meal
with
or
this.
post first shed meal?
post.
Post.
Nice, respect. Yay imports or boo imports?
Both.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yay,
can't do
nay.
this. It's not.
Yay
It's not
if
the
it's done
fucking.
right.
It's not how it works. It's yay.
Yay if it's done right.
Yay. Period.
Well, okay.
Yay or no? I need to know this.
Yes.
Okay, so yay imports. One reptile you would love to import.
Ooh, Fiji banded gecko.
Ooh,
Shout out to Renee. Panda's like fiance.
Oh,
pretty much.
Renee, shots or Renee.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
I
she
really
has
don't
one.
know. Like
Just think
the
of any
stickers.
reptile you like to like anything, and you have a reptile in a different country that you know of.
Oh, imports? You could get anything.
Chondro,
I can't
any-
even think of nothing.
Green tree pythons.
She's like,
Honestly,
there's so many
green tree
possibilities.
pythons are I've been looking into.
You're lucky I gave you that one.
Imports, he's like, I actually have one for you.
I'm
I
like,
just picked it up.
Let's see. One reptile you would not import.
Abronia.
Respect.
Yeah.
Lexi, you can't.
No,
see codes right.
I'm not okay.
Get off
Listen,
me.
I'm not as
Said,
not as
yeah.
well versed.
Look
Oh,
at
she dipped out. She dipped out.
I'm not as well versed with imports and exports.
Emotional
so I don't
damage.
have too much of an opinion if I'm being honest.
Yay sports or boo sports?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Favorite sport?
Baseball.
lacrosse.
What? Lacrosse?
Bro, it's like a
Easy,
hybrid of
fucking
everything.
American Pie. Fucking favorite baseball team.
Angels.
Angels?
Yankees.
Dude, did you like
Sorry.
Angels in the Outfield as a kid? Did you ever
I
watch
did.
that?
I loved Angels in that.
I want to watch that movie. I really want to watch that movie. Okay, what's your favorite lacrosse team? What is this?
Oh, no,
Canadian
I
league
didn't
or
watch it
something?
like that. I like playing it.
He just
Well,
played it.
because, yeah, I
Isn't
played
there
so many. My
lacrosse
parents
league,
like
though?
shove sports at
Probably.
me.
Lacrosse,
Yeah.
lacrosse is probably like I look at lacrosse at wrestling, like wrestling. That's a low class sport. Like if you did that in high school, you're
Like
on another
table
level.
tennis. Oh, I should have said table tennis.
Knock it off.
You said knock it off.
Let's see. Big flexor or no flexor?
No flex.
No flex.
Respect. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Favorite cut of steak?
T-bone.
Mine.
What?
It's better
said
homegrown. Yeah. Well, because like
you homegrown or you
my mom like goes and
Cut
buys
your own-
cows. And then
What?
like, they go like, yeah, and then they're like,
You
oh, meet
butcher
this
your own
cow.
cow?
And I'm like,
You
Oh,
oh,
buy
it's already
You-
butchered meat.
no, yeah, they
You
buy it,
pick out
they
which
feed it.
cow.
You still have to, but you still have a cut that your mom get. What kind of cut does your mom get?
All of
Sirloin?
them, D,
All of
all
them?
of the above, ground beef,
Damn, USDD
all the meats, dude,
prime.
carnivores.
That's epic. All right, cool. Trippy Red or Little Pete? You better be careful with this one.
Oh
Trippy
no. Next question.
I need one. I can't go on. I need
Go.
one or the other.
Pick one.
You have to.
dude. So
Don't
I
disrespect
hate
little people.
peeps for Easter. So I'm gonna go with the other one, little Frozo, little Frodo, little Pee-Pee.
Little P.
Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Van
Van
Halen.
Halen,
Respect. West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
West Coast.
West Coast.
Favorite West Coast rapper?
No,
You can't
it's
do
putting me
that.
on the spot.
Well,
bro.
that's what these are about.
Don't you
Favorite.
like Mac Dre?
That's don't
Yeah, so
cap.
Mac Dre. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Bro, I
Lexi.
really don't listen to rap. My mom raised me on fucking
Okay,
Dixie
favorite type of
Chicks and
music?
Rascal Flats.
Alternative.
My mom says I listen to cut myself music.
Okay, so how do you not like Little Pete?
Wake me up inside.
All right, little word association. First thing to come to mind: milk.
Cow.
You got it?
Oh, I visually did one, but Chocolate.
Substrate.
Dirt.
Cocoa chip.
Day 60.
Eggs.
Oh, yeah, females.
Stuck shed.
That sucks.
Water.
So,
Yeah.
Mites.
mm-mm.
No.
Ovulation.
Mites is like flamethrower. Ovulation is like, is she ready?
Female.
Yeah. Instagram trolls.
Bro, they can
Means.
live under the bridge. I'm
Vegans.
passing over.
Vegans.
Vegans? That's fine.
That's
Whole milk or almond milk.
Fucking almond milk can suck a toe.
You're a fucking dude. Almond milk is the
Dude,
reason why I
no.
can drink milk.
I'm
You're
lactose
no.
intolerant and I still don't drink almond milk.
It's just not the word. I can't do the pain no more. I fucking used to drink. I used to drink whole milk out of the
Dude,
fucking
Wait,
gallon.
he doesn't know.
They put
Wait,
me
he
on new
doesn't know. I
medication
put
that makes me
almond milk in his
constipated. It like
smoothies.
counterbalances.
So you gotta watch your cheese and all that shit.
Not anymore.
So now you're good.
I'm pilled up.
Damn, he's pulled up.
Pilled up.
All right, if you had to get rid of one platform forever, and I mean forever,
TikTok.
would it be Craigslist or
Oh.
Fauna?
Oh,
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Yeah.
Fauna's so cool, dude. I've met so many cool people there.
I don't think
Like
so.
the
I'm
OG.
just kidding.
No.
Hey, listen, this has been an amazing episode. We had about well over 50 people at one point. So mad love, mad support. What do you
That's
have to say?
almost 60.
What do you have to say to all your supporters out there?
No, I appreciate you guys. Like for real. Like I mean, I love doing this, and it's cool that you guys want to tune in and watch my stupid ass do
Yeah.
some cool stuff. And like she's cool too, and like you can learn some stuff from her. And like low key, she runs the page too. So if you're reaching out to me, don't say, "Hey, what's up, bro?" Say, "What's up, guys?"
Because it's both of them.
I mean,
it's a team
I'll
thing.
respond to what's up, bro. I'll be
I
like,
know. She's
what's
always responding to
cracking,
this
dude?
guy. She's like, "What's up, brother? What's up, brother?"
Solidarity, brother.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, settle down. I don't say that."
Hey guys, real quick, if you happen to came into this late and forgot to hit the like button, right now is your time to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and all that good stuff. But I appreciate you guys spending your Sunday with us. And again, we will be tapping in with the Patreon family immediately after this. So the only way you could get tapped into that at that session is if you join the Patreon family. So go down to the link
And
below.
become a trap star.
And become a trap. You don't become a trap star. You become a trap family member, and then you become a trap star after you're on the show. So you're a
become
trap star right
a
now.
trap, a white star, because then you'll develop into a red giant star.
That was pretty
Science.
racist. I don't know how you did that, but listen, I will say tomorrow is our new breeder on the block series. We have Casey and Jason. I think I said his name wrong.
That's a crazy ball python.
Anyways, this is a crazy ball python. This is actually a lesser chocolate DG clown. Huge fan of this
Ooh,
snake.
Desert Ghost.
Yes.
I've been watching
Yes.
some of that
This
stuff.
fucking snake is awesome. But anyways,
Flex
guys,
in Texas.
Flex in Texas all day, every day. They will be tapped in here at the new breeder on the block series tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Go down to the link, set your reminder. And again, guys, thank you so much for tapping in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we out. Cheers.
Bye.
Good job, man.